No, well, I guess we'll start it up. Give me a minute to get the show going, and we'll be on momentarily. Some crazy shit happening. Actually, a story that I didn't think I was going to discuss much just broke. I'm seeing it on the news now, and I do want to talk about it because I think it's worthy of mentioning. And I don't know why the Republicans would get involved in this shit, but give me a minute to get my other stream up. And good evening, Ezra, EZRA. Give me a minute to get the stream up, and we will get it going. Um, I want to ask: are Americans targeting Iranian civilians? I never thought I'd have to ask this question, but it's backed up with some video, and we're gonna toss it around. I want the answer to be no, EZRA. I see you there, Ezra. I want the answer to be no. I want folks to say no, America is not targeting Iranian citizens. I'm really hoping that is the case. I don't want our country to be targeting innocent. Yeah. If you're targeting citizens, yeah, you're targeting innocent people. I want that to not be the case. Derek, I see you there on Instagram. Give me 1 second here, and we'll get the program going momentarily here. I may do that real quick here. I think everything is copacetic, as they would say. Let me see if it brings everything up. We'll go straight over to that Instagram viewer and see what happens. Are we targeting Americans? Are we targeting civilians? Man, I hate that. Hope that ain't true. I really hope that's not true. But good evening. Was that what was the name there again? Can you hear me? Okay, you came up. I don't hear any audio. Okay, apparently I brought somebody up that is not talking, so we'll have to move. Hang on a second. I gotta damn. I just gotta restart this over, and we'll get hit. We'll get it going. But good evening to all you folks. It is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal, depending on who you ask. Welcome to the show. I got a few things I do want to discuss with you, and like I said, targeting civilians is one thing I want to hear you guys say no to. But the question is, I'm asking, is America targeting civilians? Why am I asking something like that? Well, as always, we come with clips, and today is, simply put, no exception. If I can get my audio working, but yeah, today is no exception on that. And I want to think that we are a nation that is bigger and better than many other nations we fight against and suggest commit human rights abuses. I want to assume that we would not target civilians.
Okay, let's turn our attention now to the latest on the war in the Middle East, now into its fifth week. U.S. President Donald Trump says that talks with Iran are progressing, but he's not ruling out putting U.S. boots on the ground. Meanwhile, the fighting continues with strikes in Iran, Lebanon, and Israel today. So let's zoom in for a look at the latest developments.
And this is not the clip that I meant to play. I do want to make sure I get the right clip. So a lot of shit going on, but I'm asking: are we targeting civilians? I don't. I may have ended up dumping what I was listening for, because it appears that President Trump is making some threats to infrastructure. That's what I'm saying. Making some threats to infrastructure. And my devices are going ape shit over here, but threatening the not only threatening to bomb their power plants, but also threatening to take out, what do you want to say, their salination plants. They're salad. So you're talking about fresh water. They're freshwater plants.
Just this morning, Trump taking to social media and issuing yet another threat against Tehran. He said, quote, "The United States of America is in serious discussions with a new and more reasonable regime to end our military operations in Iran. Great progress has been made, but if for any reason a deal is not shortly reached, which it probably will be, and if the Hormuz Strait is not immediately open for business, we will conclude our lovely stay in Iran by blowing up and completely obliterating all of their electric generating plants, oil wells, and Karg Island, and possibly all desalination plants, which we have purposefully not yet touched. Natasha, it's important to note here that power plants are, of course, civilian infrastructure, as are desalination plants, which really they're essential to providing civilians with drinking water throughout the Middle East. Destroying both would almost certainly violate international law and be a war crime.
Absolutely.
So you hear him saying that targeting the power and fresh water supply to a civilian population is a war crime, violation of international law, and considered to be a war crime. This is Netanyahu type shit. I'm just going to tell you that this is indeed Netanyahu type shit. Where now he's literally threatening to cut off the fresh water supply for the nation of Iran. Remember, this whole thing started out, we were there because protesters were being mistreated by the Ayatollah, and we were going to liberate the protesters. We don't went all the way from liberating the protesters to cutting off fresh water for the entire country, not to mention their power. So they're going to be in the dark and not have fresh drinking water. I want to ask a simple question. Remember, this started out with the claim that Iran was possibly about to get a nuclear bomb and they were a threat to stability and how they were yelling death to America. How is this any less worse than that? If we chop off their power and their fresh water supply, Iranians are going to die in large-scale numbers. They're claiming already as many as 1,400 Iranians have perished, and about 200 of them have been children. That's already happened from Trump's photos of, these comical photos of blowing up shit and things like that. Already 200 Iranians have lost their lives, or 200 Iranian kids. 1,400 Iranian civilians have already lost their lives. Chopping off the power so the whole country is dark and preventing them from having fresh water. How can we talk about them possibly obtaining a nuke or some kind of weapon of mass destruction when we're literally committing atrocities that would be almost equivalent? We just aren't using a nuke. Are we targeting civilians? I do want to ask that question, but we got a couple of topics more, but I want to talk about that because I can't believe he actually threatened to cut off their fresh water supply. You hear the newscaster here make it clear that doing that would be a war crime. Welcome to the Handsome Liberal Show, says Handsome Conservative, where the Republicans talk sense and the Democrats just talk. Put your hands together for the Handsome Liberal. I gotta read it because it's a super chat, but you really fucked me up by making me read that. Handsome Conservative, thank you for your support. The Democrats talk facts. Some Republicans do too, but the Democrats talk facts. But just going real quick to continue on, this is the actual Truth Social post from the president on his account. The United States of America is in serious discussions with a new and more reasonable regime to end our military operations in Iran. Great progress has been made, but if for any reason the deal was not shortly reached, which it probably will be, and if the Hormuz Strait is not immediately open for business, he put that in quotes, we will conclude our lovely stay in Iran by blowing up and completely obliterating all of their electric generating plants, oil wells, and Karg Island. And he put in parentheses, and possibly all desalination plants, exclamation point, which we have purposely not yet touched. Purposely not yet. It's a war crime. You're not supposed to do it. Anyway, he concludes by saying this will be in retribution for our many soldiers and others that Iran has butchered and killed over the old regime's 47-year reign of terror. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So he is admitting this isn't necessarily an act of self-defense. It's an act of revenge. He even uses "this will be retribution" as a quote. He actually says that in the post. This will be in retribution for our many soldiers and others that Iran has butchered and killed over the old regime 47. So he's basically taking revenge for everything he perceives that Iran has done to America over the last 47 years. So some of this is in revenge for the Iran hostage scandal in the late 70s, or the bombing of the Beirut barracks in 1983. So this definitely is not anything to do with a war of necessity. This is a war of retribution by his own words. But notice in here he also says, we will conclude our lovely stay in Iran by blowing up, and then he names all this other stuff. People are dying, and he's almost being comical about it. He almost is being comical about it. So I am wondering, are we turning in, world's police? Are we starting to turn into the bad guys behind this? The language in this is to some degree concerning. Lovely state, you're killing people. 1,400 have died so far. 200 have been children. And you're referring to that as a lovely stay? That means you enjoy doing this. You have a lovely stay somewhere that you enjoy being. So it makes it sound like he really is enjoying killing these people. Wow. But in addition to this, we're asking, are we targeting civilians? Because this ain't the only place this shit is happening.
You mentioned that Cuba will be next. What did you mean by that exactly?
Who will be next?
Cuba.
Yeah, Cuba's going to be next. Cuba's a mess. It's a failing country, and they're going to be next. Within a short period of time, it's going to fail. And we will be there to help it out. We'll be there to help our great Cuban Americans out who were thrown out of Cuba. In many cases, their family members were mutilated and killed by Castro. Cuba's going to be next. If a country wants to send some oil into Cuba right now, I have no problem with it.
Do you worry that helps?
Whether it's Russia or not,
Do you worry that helps Vladimir Putin, though?
Doesn't help him. He loses one boatload of oil. That's all it is. It's fine. If he wants to do that, and if other countries want to do it, it doesn't bother me much. It's not going to have an impact. Cuba's finished. They have a bad regime. They have very bad and corrupt leadership. And whether or not they get a boat of oil, it's not going to matter.
Why is Cuba next? Why are we fucking with Cuba? Cuba is no threat to the United States whatsoever. Next for what? Why is Cuba next? I'm just asking that question. Now, you got to assume at this point, Cuba is really, really rooting for Iran. Because if we take out Iran, Cuba's going to be pretty easy. And he's continuing to say this. Cuba is next. The only reason we didn't take Greenland out is NATO stood up to us. He would have taken Greenland. I mean, he seems to be measuring up to what he promised. Promises made, promises kept. He is taking these places. I guess I would have to ask you folks, do you think Cuba will be the last place? I mean, do you think he's going to stop at Cuba? Who else might be next? I mean, what has Cuba done to us that requires sending in military forces to take out their regime? Why is that? And you hear him say in the comments, or better yet, his statement, you hear him say, we're here to do something for the lovely people of Cuba or whatever. Isn't this the same rhetoric or language we heard when we were going into Iran, how we were going to help the Iranian citizens rise up against their country and all? And now you're talking about taking away their fresh water supply. This is the same reason he used to try to convince folks that going into Iran was somehow, some way a good thing. Now that we're in Iran, he's talking about putting the whole country in the dark and cutting off their fresh water supply. Now all of a sudden, well, we're going to help the good Cuban people. You don't come across as a country that looks like it's into helping people. You've kicked a bunch of Cubans out of America and sent them back into this oppressive environment that you speak of. You literally have deported Cubans back. If this environment is so bad, if the regime is so horrible, then why would you deport folks from your country back into that? That doesn't make any sense. Would you not correct, if you genuinely want to help the Cuban citizens, wouldn't you correct it first before you deport people back into it? Keep in mind right now, just like we mentioned with Iran, President Trump put Cuban citizens in the dark as well. Understand, folks, making an entire blackout over a country is essentially killing citizens. As I've mentioned before on many live streams, virtually anybody in a hospital is hooked up to some machine. Now, some of these machines may just be checking your vitals, but other machines may be regularly applying medication or even keeping you alive. If you make a hospital go dark by cutting off the country's electricity supply, unless that hospital has enough sufficient backup generators, you can assume people in the hospital are going to die. It's just as simple as that. Not to mention, folks, that they may be trying to deal with from other injuries, accidents, and illnesses. They don't have the power to deal with them either. So what he has done by putting an oil embargo on Cuba it's been at least probably almost a month. He's killed some Cubans. What he has done has killed some Cubans. There's no doubt putting that country in a complete blackout for as long as he did killed some Cubans. No doubt about that. But anyway, continuing on with the program, I do want to, before we start taking callers, and by the way, tap the screen. I need you guys to get the likes on up. Helps out the algorithm. You know how the program ran. On my YouTube audience, it helps bring in more MAGA. So smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. Very important. Thank you very much. This last story, I wasn't going to talk about it, but it came up. And I just want to run it by you. I don't know why this is even being discussed. Let me make sure it comes up. But this is in regards to the National Football League. Now, it's politically involved. You know, we don't normally talk about the NFL and things like that, but this has a political tie to it. You can kind of see my News Nation screen in the background right there. But anyway, this has political overtones to it. I don't know why any political party would do this.
Florida Attorney General targets the National Football League and a hiring method to attract more minority coaches and front office executives, claiming it violates state law. It's called the Rooney Rule, a decades-old hiring practice the NFL uses to increase the number of minorities hired for head coaching, general manager, and team executive positions. It requires each team to interview at least 2 minority candidates for those open roles within the organization. Today, Attorney General James Uffmeyer said the Rooney Rule breaks Florida law by requiring race-based hiring.
The NFL's use of the Rooney Rule violates Florida law by requiring race-based considerations in hiring. Florida law is clear. Hiring decisions cannot be based on race, and the Rooney Rule mandates race-based interviews and incentivizes race-based decisions. That's discrimination.
The Florida Attorney General stated that he sent a letter to the NFL over the concerns surrounding the Rooney Rule. He also posted this to a social media account and a statement video saying, "We are putting Commissioner Roger Goodell on notice. The Rooney Rule violates Florida law and it must stop."
Now, before I see my things about to kick in a commercial, but let me go ahead and give you the gist of this, because I don't understand why any Republican Party member would get involved in this shit. This is what leads people to suggest that some Republicans are racist in nature. It makes no sense. Now, the National Football League, 32 teams, only 3 teams have a minority head coach. According to the notes I took down, only 3 teams have a minority head coach. The Rooney Rule, kind of like the whole Charlie Kirk, every time I see a black pilot, I kind of wonder. The Rooney Rule requires, and this rule has been in place for quite a while, but the Rooney Rule requires that at least 2 minorities must be interviewed for the position. They don't get the job. It's not saying that you have to hire anybody. They're not even interviewing minorities. So the Rooney Rule requires that when you're switching head coaches, you interview at least 2 minorities for the position, because apparently they weren't even interviewing people of color. And you hear him suggesting that just simply doing that violates Florida law. So he wants to take the Rooney Rule. He wants that banned. You hear him targeting Roger Goodell over the NFL, saying that he's putting them on notice or whatever. Why get involved in this? Why would the Republican Party put their name on this? This is the kind of shit when folks say that, okay, 32 teams, only 3 of them have minority coaches. And all they're doing is saying, could you please at least interview some minorities in the Republican Party? Well, actually requiring that is a violation of law. Why get involved in that? The Rooney Rule has been around for years, and even with it around, you're talking barely over 10% of the coaches are minorities. So it ain't like a bunch of minorities is being hired. To begin with, it's only 3 of them out of 32 with the rule in place. If you remove the rule, I'm just simply saying this is what leads to people suggesting that the Republican Party does racist shit. To put your name on something like that is insane. So we'll talk about it if you will, but we're certainly talking about whether or not we are targeting civilians. It just sounds horrible to me what we're dealing with there. But that Rooney Rule thing, I don't know why the hell they would do that. So we're gonna go over to Instagram and bring up DenCow and help your boy out with the TikTok cap and hat, mustache, go all of that bullshit. You guys know how the show is ran. Certainly smash that like button and get us up to 10,000 on TikTok. DenCow, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Good evening.
Hey, have you heard about that Rooney Rule shit?
Yes. Trump has been messing with the NFL for decades, ever since he tried to buy a team and the NFL owners, they voted to not allow him to buy a team. So he's had it out for the NFL for decades.
So you believe this is Trump inspired?
Yes, for sure.
Done more for blacks than anybody since Abraham Lincoln, he says.
Look, they starting to run out of reasons and rationale. You know, just like he decided he didn't want the black people to make one-star general because he would have to stand next to them in award ceremonies.
I'm trying. How do you respond to folks who say, I don't believe Trump is racist?
TDS. It's TDS. It's got to be.
So if somebody says Trump is not racist, that's a case of Trump derangement syndrome to you.
Yes. You got people who got tattoos and they got their cars painted and all kinds of shit. And they walk around with his merch on, and then they point at other people and say we're deranged. It doesn't make any damn sense.
Well, yeah, I suppose if you put his face on the hood of your car or on your bicep, that is a bit crazy to do that for a fucking. I got a video on one of my TikTok pages of this African American guy saying he would take a bullet for Trump. And it's like, you gonna take a bullet for a politician that's only got 4 years to serve? Really?
Yeah, that guy looked like he was just off a hit of that thing, over that pipe. That dude was talking crazy.
Well, Jeremy in the comments says it has nothing to do with Trump. So he's
everything has something to do with Trump. It's his policy. What are they talking about?
Well, the Floridian attorney general that's saying that violates Florida law.
It's Trump's policy.
Well, he might just really like Trump, but Trump didn't implement this policy on the NFL. It's the attorney general on TV saying it.
He's implementing it all over the place. He's telling all of the companies
that
they won't have government contracts if they have anything. He's talking about their own private companies hiring practice. He's telling them how to hire and fire people. That's Trump.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it sounds a whole lot. It has remnants of Charlie Kirk, the black pilot. When I see a black pilot, I think that, maybe when he see a black coach, he thinks that maybe this guy don't know what the hell he's doing.
Right. Look, the worst part about it is, look, the NFL tried to do something. The Rooney Rule is not working because they got got a bunch of black coaches that every year they get interviewed just to fulfill that quota, and everybody knows they're not going to get hired. So it's not really working. But the fact that the government is telling them what they can and cannot do as far as hiring practice is the craziest thing, because they all said, "What about sports? Keep politics out of sports. We don't want to hear about it. We don't want to see nothing. We don't want to see nobody kneeling peacefully. We don't want to see nothing at the halftime show." And now they got the president of the United States and his minions meddling around in the NFL, in the NCAA. Now they're trying to tell the colleges how much they can pay the NIL.
Yeah, I did hear something like that, but you make a good point, because that is something that you heard when Colin Kaepernick was taking a knee about how we didn't want politics in sports and things like that. Trump gets in there, and the same folks that were complaining about Colin Kaepernick suddenly don't seem to have a problem with it.
Right. And what was the one, Joey Bosa, one of them dudes. When they won the football game, he runs into, in the middle of the interview with his "Make America Great Again" hat, and nobody has a problem with him injecting politics into sports.
But Jeremy says DEI is putting politics into sports. So he's saying that if you're requiring them to interview minority coaches or whatever the case, that's putting politics in it.
So that logic would stand if we come from a position that everything that happened in this country never happened, as far as slavery and suppressing people's rights and their education and their culture and everything. Yes, this country does at least an attempt to try to make things right. I don't know why we keep acting like slavery never happened, Jim Crow never happened, separate but equal never happened, all of the civil rights.
Well, it's not like they're trying to act like it didn't happen. I think the argument is that stuff was so long ago, it has no effect on life today. I think a lot of folks, when you start talking about everything and obviously Jim Crow happened at least in our parents' lifetime, and some of us are old enough it may have happened in their lifetime, but they believe that all of that stuff happened hundreds of years ago, and it's just minorities having somewhat of a victim mentality to keep bringing it up, because they see it as minorities have just as much of an opportunity now as anybody else.
What they're not understanding is, yes, it started hundreds of years ago. It ended in mine's in your lifetime. So all of those years, hundreds of years of a mentality of deprivation of education, of cultural awareness, of wealth accumulation, all of those things matter to people in societies.
Yeah, but they're going to say, look, I was born poor just like any black person. I had to work hard. So the argument is, I don't have a privileged card. I had to work just as hard as you. I was born in a trailer park, or, I had a single parent. They have there's plenty of sob stories in the white community as well. So the argument is, well, I didn't get shit from birth just like you didn't.
Well, that's not necessarily that's not like an accusation or something. That's them just acknowledging that with all of the benefits they had, they still ain't shit. That ain't got nothing to do with the mass majority of America. You really got to be an upset, pissed off motherfucker after all of this shit and all of the freedoms and the privileges you have. You still sitting in a fucking trailer park on government assistance. You ain't been oppressed. Ain't nobody did shit to you or your family. You still ain't got shit. I'd be pissed off too. But those are not the people that I'm having this conversation with. We talking about the people in general, where all of the wealth is concentrated. We understand that. And just because they didn't become successful doesn't mean that other people, the masses, didn't utilize those advantages to become successul.
Yeah, I got a whole monopoly spiel about how I always put it. I'll end up doing it after we talk, but in regards to what the main topic is, though, targeting civilians, as horrible as that sounds, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me America, tell me President Trump, the goal is to keep America safe. Tell me that we are not deliberately trying to target innocent civilians. I need to hear that.
I mean, there's no way that I could make that argument in a legitimate, debate with somebody. When the man says shit like, we destroyed all of their shit and they don't have shit and I don't care about them, that's telling you this got nothing to do with geopolitical aspirations or keeping America safe. He's destroying people's lives and killing innocent people and using the name of the military and American safety to justify it. When he's not saving us from Cuba.
Yeah, I don't get why Cuba is next. I don't. When he campaigned no new wars and all that, America first, we've been covering Trump, since his first term, doing these labs and things like that. I never heard Cuba come up once. What is the purpose of taking out Cuba at this point?
Look, I have no idea, and it's like we got whiplash. Like we done traded sides. We saying what's up with the wars. The same people that was like, we don't want wars. Trump is the president of peace. If you don't want wars, vote for Trump. And now he's going around the whole damn world like playing whack-a-mole with these countries, like he's playing a video game. Like he's really playing a game. Like who's gonna get it next?
Yeah, but here's what baffles me. Now, I know you're not MAGA, but maybe you could help me understand it till I can get a MAGA viewer to call in. And I'll take, we don't block banner censor anybody's opinion, no matter what side of the aisle you are in politically. But MAGA is supporting all of these different excursions, for lack of a better term, conflicts. They supported taking of Greenland. They supported Iran. And many of them are supporting the threats towards Cuba. Yet they happily campaigned themselves with Trump and celebrated the promise of no new wars. Does that make sense? How did that happen?
Look, I have no idea. It's to the point now where they're like blaming Biden now. Well, Biden should have done this before. Why did Trump have to wait till Trump come in to do this? They're literally flipping the whole argument. I don't even know what side to take now.
Yeah, I never heard, when Biden was in office, I've never heard MAGA suggest that Biden should attack Iran. I never heard that.
They were saying that Kamala was going to attack Iran if she got in.
Yeah, Trump said that Obama was going to attack Iran.
Right. And remember Tulsi Gabbard was the one like, don't attack Iran. It's suicide. We're using American blood and treasure, and it's not going to benefit America. And now she's sitting up there talking about, we've informed the president of the different consequences, and it is up to him to decide.
What is it about this man? What is it about this man that gives him enough power to literally make you change how you feel? I mean, like I said, I've been to a couple of Trump rallies. I understand he has a lot of energy. He definitely has a way of making you root for him. Because he said a few things that made me stand up and apply when I was at his rally. But I do want to ask, how do you get somebody that is adamant that America should be directed this way, get up there and do exactly the opposite, and then the people say, yes, that is the way it should go? How do you convince somebody to completely change what they stand on?
It is the cult of personality. Like, those people identify in something in him. And not all of them are the same thing. I'm not saying that everybody that supports him are racist, but some of them would like to be able to say and do the shit that he says and does. They would like to be able to say that about anybody at any time, at any place.
I mean, I would like to have his money. I would like to have 0.00001% of his wealth. So I like a few things about him too, but
yeah, what about the petition? They said, why don't they get Barron to go ahead and join the military? Like nobody in Trump's whole family lineage. Matter of fact, his grandfather escaped. He escaped, I think, Germany. It was to avoid fighting in that war. So he draft dodged over there.
damn.
And he left and went to another country, and then after the war, he tried to go back to Germany. They said no, and they kicked him out. And then he ends up in America, and then his son does the same shit. Draft dodges, running around. Yeah, I mean, but you know, that's our president, and these people are so happy to support a draft dodging piece of shit.
Well, don't call it. That's disrespecting the president, then, Kyle. You can't call the president a piece of shit.
What do you think he'd call you if he had a chance to hear some of your conversation?
Let's not go there. Let's not. Anything but a respectable citizen, I'm sure, but let's not go there. But we gotta respect the office, so to speak. So,
Look, I can criticize the person and not the office. I'm saying that Donald Trump, as a human being, in my view, is a piece of shit.
Biden. What kind of person was Biden in your view?
I believe that Biden was a changed person over time. I believe he was raised in the same culture as Trump was. But I think over time, and I don't know if it was by being in the Democratic Party, and he started to change his ways. He started to understand the way he used to talk and the way he used to think was wrong. And he actually used efforts. He actually took action to try to change some of those things. He tried to add diversity. He tried to reverse decisions that were made in the past. And I think he tried to help the people he knew who were affected most, especially by that crime bill. I think he was a changed person.
Yeah, but you know, some folks on the right would suggest he only changed because he wanted to try to get the black vote. And by the way, before you respond to that, folks, tap the screen. Get your guy. We should be around 20,000 by now. A lot of lazy fingers in here. Help your boy out with the TikTok cap and had mustache going. It must be a terrible program today. Participation on TikTok is way down. So you see Biden as a changed person. How do you respond to folks who say he only doing that to get the black vote?
I would say that Jim saying something but following up with action is different than Trump running around saying, I've done everything for black people without a single thing that we can identify that actually helped the black people. He's not including, he's literally forcing everybody out of the government that's black in high positions. So look, we could say that Joe Biden only did it for votes, but if it just doing it for votes meant he had the most diverse Congress in history, his cabinet was the most diverse, he hired a black woman to be by his side. If that's just doing it for the black vote, well, then keep on doing it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, because that is certainly going to earn our attention. Oddly enough, I see Ashanti in the comments. Ashanti in the comments on TikTok says, Tim don't like it when people talk badly about Trump. I tell you, I get bashed constantly by MAGA calling me everything from a libtard to a race-baiting hustler. But the minute I speak favorably about Trump, the liberals come at me, man. I tell you, I got Trump derangement syndrome and I love Trump at the same fucking time. How does that work?
Well, I guess that means you're doing something right to keep your voters. I mean, keep your posters and people, involved. So
either I'm doing something right or I'm doing everything wrong. Goddammit, I don't know. I just don't know. So
I can appreciate somebody. Look, I don't like it sometimes when you fluff, but this your show, so I'm not gonna gangster granddad on you.
Gangster granddad, that's the last thing I need. Don't need gangster grandma is literally more. That's two parents in one. I don't need two grandparents. Gangster granddad, oh shit. I got Straight Talk Commerce. He's the MAGA gangster granddad version of that. But no, we don't need another one. So taking out the fresh water supply of Iran. I don't know if you heard the newscaster suggest that would be a war crime, but Trump is threatening to do that.
That's murder is what it is.
Yeah.
It's not something like it is intended to starve, people of hydration. Like it's no other way to, we could say, well, it's leverage if we all want to use military speak, but there are things that we as a country agreed a long time ago that were unacceptable, even in war. Now, Trump has come in and said there are no rules. He gets to make the rules. So don't be surprised down the road when America is involved in conflicts and stuff like that, and people do horrible shit to Americans because he has said it out loud, and Pete Hegseth has said, we don't follow international rules.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to say, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. Well, Iran has already threatened to literally set our people on fire. So if you're flying over the country and you get shot down or something like that, they've already had 2 pilots go down. They just went down in friendlier environments. But if you end up getting captured by the Iranians, they've already said that the goal is to set you on fire. So, I mean,
so when we see somebody on fire, what is MAGA going to do? Get more pissed off at Iran? Not the person who sent them in there. They're going to get pissed off at Iran. And look, people like, oh, you on Iran's side.
you hear? Yeah, I'm getting that a lot.
I'm not on people, human beings dying for no reason. That's the side I'm on. And that's the side they used to be on when Trump was like, I just don't like the killing. What he said about the Europe.
He really, it is amazing because this is the dude that was originally pursuing a Nobel Peace Prize. It is amazing how, this is all in the span of about a year. It is amazing how this dude has changed. He was talking about ending 8 wars. What is he trying to do now? Start 8 of them? It's amazing the change of this guy.
He good because guess what? He got the Peace Prize. Remember old girl gave him hers? So he don't have to do that no more.
He's coming across as the most aggressive and somewhat violent president we've ever had, and he gets. Why would anybody grant him a Nobel Peace Prize is beyond me. But how many countries has he threatened? We've already, we've obviously dealt with Venezuela and took their leader out, killing some people in the process. Think about 30 of them or whatever. We killed people on the ground in Venezuela. Obviously, we're killing hundreds of them on the ground in Iran right now.
Thousands.
Well, they claim 1,400 so far. Now, the American media is going to probably be on the low end of that because Trump is trying to say they bombed their own school and all that kind of shit. But yeah, Nobel Peace Prize. How did that work out?
Right. They said they dropped over, they done used 800 tomahawks. You trying to tell me 800?
Damn.
14? That's just us. That ain't even including what Israel is doing. So you trying to tell me 1,400 people died? You trying to tell me that Iran just evacuated all of their military sites and all of their missile sites and stuff? That's some bullshit.
It would not surprise me. I do got to move it on, but I'll tell you this: it would not surprise me if some defense contractors were being promised rewards. We're going to fire and use up all the shit we got, and that way you'll get a contract to replace it. Because all that stuff's got to be replaced.
They already ramped up production with those companies already. He hadn't had to use I forgot what is it. He's got something that he can use. It's like an emergency powers he can use to make contractors just not do nothing except for what America needs done. The War Powers Act or something like that. But he hadn't used that yet. But he sits down and talks to those contractors all the time. And I'm surprised that we haven't heard anything from Blackwater because he sits down with what is that guy named Prince, the guy who's in charge of Blackwater.
I'm not familiar with who it is.
You know what I'm talking about? The paramilitary group that they was using in Iraq. Remember they got in trouble because they were over there slaughtering Iraqis and stuff. But they were considered subcontractors, but they were there to fight.
That's kind of like what Russia did with the Wagner Group.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Same thing.
His name is Eric Prince. You can look it up, and he's still is in Trump's circle, and I'm sure they're probably doing some dirty shit that we don't know about in Iran right now.
Paid mercenaries.
It'll come out later on.
Well, yeah, you're going to probably end up having the Democrats audit our, I want to say regime, audit our administration. I don't want to call
It's a regime.
I gotta go, Dick Hell. I gotta go. Appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much.
All right, y'all take care.
You too. All right, moving on with the program. By the way, folks, tap the screen, get the likes on up. You guys know what I need you to do. A lot of lazy fingers in here. Looking in the comments, e-commerce guy says they killed 70,000 of their own citizens, so stop crying. Based on who? Based on whose numbers? That stuff you're hearing from the Trump administration. It may be accurate, but there's no way to verify that. That's coming from the enemy that's telling you they killed 70,000. And by the way, even if they did kill 70,000, which would be atrocious, that ain't got nothing to do with cutting off their desalination plants and electricity. Well, you killed 70,000 of your own people, so you shouldn't mind us killing 10 or 15,000 more. Is that the argument? Tap the screen, get the likes up before we go to the next caller. Get us up to 20,000. Handsome Conservative says, waiting for gangsta grandma, or waiting for gangsta grandma, bring on Wheezy. I'm calling a spade, says our new reality. That's what everybody should do. Lethal, you live in Michigan and you disrespect our flag. Why? Okay, you guys are talking amongst each other. I don't know. Everybody got their own opinion of what disrespecting the country or disrespecting the flag is. Colin Kaepernick taking a knee was considered disrespecting the flag to some folks. Plenty of other folks, actual veterans, were saying it was not. So everybody got their own opinion of what disrespecting the flag is. By the way, I'll just add on, I don't know if you can see the Blue Lives Matter flag behind my left shoulder, but that violates flag code. You see that in police departments all over America. The U.S. flag code clearly speaks out against discoloring the flag. That is a violation of U.S. flag code. Yet many folks fly that, including myself right now, proudly. So everybody got their own opinion of what is disrespecting the flag and what's not. And just like the police put a blue stripe through it, fire department puts a red stripe through it. I forgot who puts a green stripe through it. And of course, the LGBTQ community, they change every fucking stripe in there a different color of the rainbow. Blue One Banks. Appreciate the galaxy that started out right. You guys, appreciate that the support, man. Thank you for the support. Blue One Banks. Going to the box real quick here. Tim, he's talking about using our flag as toilet paper. I get it, but what I'm saying is, if you read the U.S. flag code, putting a blue stripe through it is also disrespecting the flag. You may agree with this one and not agree with using it as toilet paper, but it's still disrespecting the flag. Straight talk. Good evening.
Would you consider...
Hang on a second. Hold on. You're going to have to repeat that. I turned the audio off. Okay, you said, would I consider what?
Would you consider sending drones and missiles into hotels and civilian apartments? Would you consider that a war crime?
Yeah.
And would you consider, so Iran's already committed war crimes. Oh, that's very attractive.
So in other words, the country that we've been accusing of war crimes and killing their own civilians for years, we're just going to pattern ourselves after them?
No, for years. I mean, in the last 2 weeks.
I get it, but what I'm saying is...
You're not hearing what I'm saying.
I am.
We did not attack a civilian target. He said if they don't straighten up and finish these negotiations, they may be missing a desalinization plant. We're just talking about it.
What do you mean we haven't?
We're just letting them know what's coming.
We put Cuba in the dark. What do you mean we haven't attacked civilians? The Cubans deserve that?
Story. You want to talk? Hold on. You want to talk about Iran or you want to talk about Cuba?
No. You make it sound like America is in. Well, we can talk about Iran with the girls in the school that Trump didn't even apologize for doing that.
Yeah, I don't think that he believes number one, we did not target that girls' school. So that's a totally different
thing.
So
a tomahawk just hit their school, and we're not going to say sorry, anything about it at all. We're going to say Iran went out.
Listen, I'm going to call them up. You can apologize. If you feel that strongly about it, you go ahead and apologize.
Yeah, but that's me.
Of everybody you need to apologize to, you go do that.
But that's me. That means you're okay with it. You're not going to be on the phone.
I'm not okay with it. But
how do I know? How do we know? Wait. How do we know he's not okay with it? Tell me, how do we know that? What has he said to indicate he's not okay with it?
Because he's our president of the United States.
What is he?
Iran,
that's it?
Hold on, dude. Iran, as a policy, fires drones and missiles just anywhere. They hit whatever the hell it hits. That's it. They don't target anything. They don't try to hit nothing. They just throw it out there to terrorize their neighbors. Not just us. They haven't hit us yet.
Okay.
Not Israel. They hit Israel all the time in apartment complexes. They hit a desalinization plant in Israel. They hit oil fields in their neighbors. They hit all kinds of civilian infrastructure. If you're going to come to me and complain that we took out a desalinization plant after all of the hotels and apartments, you'll miss me with that shit.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck.
And that's why in the comments, Master Zizek said, this is why nobody likes America right now. Take some accountability. Hold on. I asked you, what did Trump say to indicate we're not okay with bombing innocent girls in schools? Well, because he's our president. What the hell does that say?
Hold on, Tim. I don't think he acknowledges that we did that.
So he
just like you don't acknowledge that
that's the
70,000.
Well, then I don't think Iran acknowledges the stuff you just said.
Oh, that's what I said. Okay.
So why are you blaming them? So they shouldn't be blamed for it anymore.
We know they did.
And they know we did. And they know we did.
I talked to a woman this weekend whose family lives there.
And I'm laughing in advance, but go ahead. You talked to a woman that lives in Iran, and what did she tell you?
Exactly that. It wasn't 40,000. It was 70,000. And we have video of them on rooftops killing their own people. I mean, look, you want to bluff for Iran? That is totally different. You go do that.
I'm asking you once again, how do we know America was not down with killing those innocent schoolgirls?
Okay, listen, if you want to believe that your country shot a school full of children, then that's what you're going to think. Yeah. I think far better of my country. There's no fucking way he did that. If it was a shot that went errant, whatever happened, we'll get to the bottom of it. But really, there's not a whole lot to do for those schoolgirls now anyway.
Yeah, I'll tell
you. What I'm saying is, I refuse to believe that my country targeted an elementary school.
If you're willing to me, this is my Charlie Kirk argument about putting things in context. If you're willing to take over Gaza and tell them they can't come home, which is what he actually said, they can't come back. If you're willing to put Cuba in the dark, if you're willing to launch a second strike to two men holding on to a boat at sea, suggesting that obviously the two people of this drug boat shit off the coast of Venezuela, you're going to strafe two people at that point who are just stringing on for their life. Yeah, I believe you're willing to kill kids in schools. Yeah.
All right, well, you're welcome to believe whatever the hell you want to believe, okay? That those two innocent people were trying to bring substances into this country, we're not allowing anymore.
Were they going to swim in?
Hold on, stop. Let me address all of your whining.
Okay, address it.
Cuba
Thank you, Sexy
has been
Red.
around for a very long time and been an adversary of the United States. And guess what? We're sending people back into Cuba to help us run Cuba when we finish removing their regime.
Wait.
You understand?
No, I don't. You're suggesting that the people. Hold on.
You're going back into Cuba are going back into Cuba.
No, I don't. You're suggesting that two people on a drug boat trying to bring, as you say, drugs into America. Once you've blown the boat up and they're holding onto the wreckage, you're saying that they are still legitimate targets.
I would have done it.
But you would. Yeah, you would also blow up a school full of girls too. That's what I'm saying.
You can say that if you want. I mean, listen.
Okay, okay.
Oh, here we go.
I can't deal with the ignorance.
Two galaxies, you didn't bring them up.
I didn't see it.
Idiot comes up with the money out of her couch cushion, and she gets to talk.
This is what you got to do, Tim, okay? This is what you're going to do. I want to show you how to get some balls, okay? I want to show you. Let me tell you something, you redneck motherfucker.
Hey. That's what gets you banned. You can't. No, hold on.
Give me the high
hold on, you can't.
Down until you give me the high sign that I can come back
to
this.
Because when we went over there, we did a tomahawk. That was us. Don't tell me that the president knows. The president knows what he did. You numbnut.
Hey, wait, hold on. Okay. Can you address what he's saying without all of the redneck shit?
No, I can't. I'm
But you're gonna get the whole day. Wait, hold on. You're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm not
get,
like you.
you're gonna get
No,
the whole,
I'm not like.
you're gonna
I'm
get the
not
whole
like-
goddamn live taken down doing that.
I said nut.
Oh yeah.
No, you didn't. You talked. Hold on. Let me mute you for a second. You're calling them rednecks and all kinds. You ain't just say nothing. Can you get the point across without all the unnecessary? Because it will. I mean, look. I don't. We're trying to keep the live going, and you're talking about stuff that has nothing to do with it. But I want to let her. I'll let her talk. But man, try to calm it down some. She dropped. I don't know why that time. She must have
Well, they
dropped.
kicked her because she can't watch her mouth. They kick her every time.
Well, I didn't want to kick her, but
You should have.
yeah.
Woman's a moron. She's a menace.
Bro,
What do you want to know?
Well, what you are saying does bring out passion in motherfuckers now.
Okay. Guess what? Hey, tell her to get a binky. Okay, that's what a toddler. You put a binky in a toddler's mouth.
What the hell?
She needs a binky.
What the hell is a binky?
Let me tell you something.
pacifier.
See, no. Did you see how he disrespects? That's why I call him a nut and stuff. I paid for this shit, unlike your rabbit
Go
ass.
TikTok, honey. I didn't kick you.
You don't even have a subscription.
Try to TikTok.
Bitch. You haven't even had a subscription. I have a subscription, and I don't even come up first. So miss me with that bullshit. Okay, I pay more
Talk to
than
the
any of these
host.
bitches in here. So shut your ugly ass up.
Talk to the
God.
host.
And let me tell you
You're
something
an
about the
idiot.
United
He likes
States.
to talk to
Let me-
smart
no,
people.
Shut up. Let me tell you something about the United States. We are fudged up. We are, because we unalived over 50 girls in that school. We did put
Yes,
a tomahawk through that school.
It's a lot more than
We did that.
50.
You should apologize for
It's
that.
about four. It's
That's
a
a really bad thing for you to do.
it's a lot more than 50,
That was
by the
your
way.
damn president.
Yeah, 100 girls. I mean,
That
you're
was
only
your
taking
president.
responsibility for half.
It's a lot more than 100.
Yeah, it was a lot more.
Listen to her. She's trying to minimize it. It's horrible.
You know what? You know what? With your
You should apologize right now in front of all of us.
Mayonnaise.
You went and shot a tomahawk in the middle of that school.
Uncooked mayonnaise looking ass. Let me tell you.
Crazy.
You smelly ass.
I mean, you should not be given tomahawks at all, GG.
Let me tell you something.
Don't know how to
I
use
will
them.
promise you this. United States were bullies. We're going into only black and brown countries. We're not going to the white tea countries. We're only going into the black and brown countries like we're doing in Cuba and shit. We're doing horrible shit to Cubans. But you know why?
You should really
Why
stop
we're
doing that then.
Because we have a racist
Knock it off.
mofo in office. Shut your ugly ass up.
Let me interject.
You should stop doing all these things.
I'm not doing nothing. I didn't vote for this shit. I voted for a black woman that wanted to put
That's the problem. You voted for someone who can't win.
You white trailer trash
Was-
dumpster
that was a
bucket. You
fucking
did
cakewalk
not. You
beating
wanted
her.
a white man up in there.
Stop
You what,
voting
you
for heads of
triple K-ass
lettuce.
narcissist?
Start
You're a
voting for
triple
people that
K-ass
are going to
narcissist.
help you.
That's what your ass is.
Okay, let me interrupt it because then Cal makes a good point. He says, "Not sure why you, Straight Talk, refuse to believe our country would target kids when we targeted whole cities full of non-combatants in Japan. What say you?"
We sure did.
Listen. Did you never hear of Dresden? I mean, are you kidding me? In war,
He has
World War
addressed
II,
nothing.
we
All he
absolutely,
said,
the whole of England, London was completely rubble.
Like he
That's
said.
what happens in a war.
No, it doesn't.
That's why you don't.
You're
fight
basically
war.
saying war crime. You're basically saying war
That's
crimes
a
happen in war.
crime.
What's a war crime?
You're basically
What's
saying
a war crime?
Going and doing that to the kids.
war crime
to
is
school.
war crime
It's
is
a war crime.
war crime
And
is
then, now he's going, no. You know
Yeah,
what he
purposely
did?
doing
You know
it is
what
a
he
war
just
crime.
did?
You're right.
You know what he said he's going to go do now? He's going to go after the water and stuff. That's a war crime.
Yeah,
He
guess
don't
what else
care.
is a war
This is
crime,
what the
dummy?
trash-
You can't
this is
shoot.
what the
You
trash
can't shoot
did
drones
and
into
voted in.
hotels.
This is what the triple K voted in. This is what.
Oh, we're
the
all
United
racist
States
now.
became
Here we go
is
with the
trash.
racist. Raise your hand if you haven't heard this. Raise your hand. Anyone that's not been called a racist today, please
You are.
raise your
You're
hand.
racist.
Gangsta
You are.
Grandma wants to correct
You
that.
voted.
5 minutes.
We just don't like you. I don't even care about your color. You are
You are
despicable.
a racist. You did. You
Yeah,
did.
I'm racist.
You walk like
Great.
a duck, quack, quack. You talk like a duck, quack,
Yeah.
quack. You waggle like a duck, quack, quack.
Guess what?
You
I
a
haven't been
duck.
called a racist
You
in
a
15
duck.
minutes.
You a
Thank
duck.
you.
And you voted
Jesus.
for him.
Come
You
up with a better
duck.
argument.
With your fucking alien-looking ass.
You need to save your money. Go talk to someone. Go talk to someone that you have an effect on. That racism bullshit, you miss me completely with it. I don't give a flying fuck what you think about me, lady.
I don't give a damn. I don't care. You burnt mayonnaise twit. What the fuck?
Yeah, YouTube viewers, smash that like button. It helps out the algorithm. We may need some more MAGA after this.
Excuse me. Hey, Tim, her race doesn't come into it for me. She's a despicable human being.
You know what it is about you twits? You know what it is? You burnt mayonnaise looking. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something. You guys can't afford. You guys can't afford $9.99. You guys can't afford $9.99 to help your little babu over here, the one that sucks your cocks a lot. You guys can't afford to help his ass. You feel me? But the ones that support his ass,
you brought this on yourself, Tim. I don't want to see that.
Ones,
I want you to raise your chin, and I want you to take it like a man, because you brought her up.
That's what it is, though.
You brought this on all of us.
This is unfortunate.
Bird ass mayonnaise. You guys stink. Bad, man. You stinky booty ass.
What you said he stink? You never met him. How do you know he's?
Let her play it out. She spent her money. You took her money.
How do you know she's? How do you know he stinks? Why are you saying that?
Because man, I seen the coochie, I seen the dinglings, I seen them butt naked, I seen it all.
What are you talking about?
Let her get kicked, please. So the grown people can have a conversation.
White tea cockroach? I never. Oh my God, I would. I put down the Holy Bible.
Doug Zeller in the comments.
I'll never go that freaky.
Doug Zeller in the comments asked, "Is this Maxine Waters?" He guys are just
get it out.
Is a lie. Everything this man is saying is a lie. He doesn't even know what the fudge he's talking about, Willis.
2 minutes.
He's saying that the president won't even own up to what he did. That's the truth. He won't own up. All this crap that this motherfucker has been doing, they're still kissing his ass. Do you know? No, you shut your ugly ass up.
Finish strong. I'm encouraging you.
All gas.
I'm encouraging you. Let's wrap it up. Let's do it strong.
Shut up. All gas. All gas is going to be over $8 a gallon.
$8?
Because of your cracker ass.
Tell them who.
Oh, yeah, trying to bomb everything. Our shit's going to be over $8 a gallon.
And when it's $2? When it's $1 a gallon, what are you going to say then? What do you complain about when it's $1 a gallon?
Okay, let me break this shit down to you with your ugly ass, ratty-tooty looking. It's never going to be $2 again.
And when it is, what are you going to say then?
But he has it. But Gangsta Grandma, Gangsta Grandma. Wait, hold on, Gangsta Grandma. He has a good point. What if it does go down to $2 a gallon? How do you know?
It's not a what if.
You don't know.
It's never going to be a no.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to be a what if. It's not. It's not going to be. If you guys go look at this shit, it's never going to be $2 a gallon. It never will be $2 a gallon
Couple
again.
weeks, it'll be right back down way below. We'll pay less than anyone else in the world for
$8 a gallon.
You think it'll be in a couple of weeks?
Boo more.
Straight talk. You think in a couple of weeks?
Not much longer.
No, it's not.
That's really optimistic.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
We are currently negotiating with them right now, and they are going to come to heel. No question about it.
He really believes this shit. He really, God's hearing me, believes this shit. This is why they're in a court.
Listen, one of us is going to be right, and it ain't
this motherfucker telling me to go jump off a bridge, and this motherfucker will go do it.
All right, I'll end it there. That is the time. That is the time. Appreciate it. She don't like you. I get the feeling that she don't like you, Straight Talk. And by the way, I ended up dropping Straight Talk. I didn't do that right. He has some more time there, so I will finish up with him. If people are paying, it won't go down. Now you believe in...
You're so rattled, you dropped the wrong one of us.
You believe in 2 weeks, gas is going to go back down or what?
It's going to be a couple weeks, yeah.
Couple weeks?
It'll be a couple weeks.
That's super optimistic.
No, it's not really, because it can stop as quickly as it started.
That ain't how it works, Straight Talk.
What are you talking about? Which one of us has been to war?
They got shit that you ain't... $2 gas ain't got nothing to do with your combat history. That ain't happening.
No, what I'm saying to you... Hold on. once you have a new regime in place and the oil is flowing freely, look, man, we've got a little bit of cleanup left to do. And I'm telling you right now that oil is plentiful. And for the United States, we need oil to go down to under $2.
$2. I really hope
you guys do not listen. You do not understand the larger picture. You guys are focused. Trump has y'all so deranged. You do not see what he is doing here.
$2. So you believe gas will go down in 2 weeks from today? That's in mid-April. You expect gas?
I think a couple weeks. Yeah.
I think you're crazy.
Now look, if it takes 3 weeks, I'm off by a week. I'm just telling you that he's not going for some perpetual war. You guys are not going to have something to complain about. You're going to have to figure something out quick.
What's making you believe he's not going for a perpetual war based on how many folks? We got aircraft carriers still heading over there. What makes you think it's not?
Yeah. And that's part of the reason it's not going to continue. When they realize that never-ending ass-whooping is coming their way, they will have a tendency. All countries do this, by the way. Saddam did the exact same thing until he ran and hid in a hole. We dug him out of a hole. You know that.
I know we dug him out of a hole, but I think that
happened. Listen, what do you think happened over in Venezuela? Not another peep out of them. When they realized we could come snatch you out of your bed and put a mint under your pillow and a note from Santa and tell your folks what you want?
I'm just hold on. I am just curious. Maybe I am the idiot and you're the smart one here, but I want to ask the audience.
No, not maybe. Not maybe.
By way of yes or no in the comments, how many of you agree with the caller here that gas will? Hold on, hang on. No, I got MAGA on. Hold on. Can I get you can criticize the audience, but let me get the question out. How many of you, by way of yes or no, agree with the caller that gas will be at a respectable price again within a month? He said 2 weeks. I'm gonna say a month. Respectable is, what is it now? Almost $4 a gallon. So let's take $1 off. So about $3 a gallon. How many, by way of yes or no, how many folks agree with the caller that in a month's time, fuel prices will be back down to reasonable levels? That's really.
Can I answer Denkel real quick?
Sure.
He said that there's not one expert that agrees with me, and he's wrong about that.
Give me a name.
There's not one expert that the media wants you to know about that agrees with me.
Give me a name, somebody I can look up. I'm curious. I haven't heard anybody agree with you.
Well, I don't know them by name, Tim, but I'm telling you that there's a whole ton of people that know exactly what the president is doing. Scott Bessent is one of them. I mean, there is an entire plan. This administration is going off an entire playbook.
Anybody telling you
all of this was going to take place when President Trump was running for president? This came as no shock to many of us.
Anyone telling you, hold on. Anybody telling you that gas will come down that quick is probably in the Trump administration. They're not just MAGA; they work for Trump.
Tim.
Yeah.
Once you see, you see this for yourself, and you still ignore it. Price of oil has gone up and down. I mean,
it's like 150
very quickly during this conflict. Even during the conflict.
100. Chancey Walton said nutcase, Tim. I don't know, but look, 115. $116 a barrel. I don't see it coming back as quick as you're suggesting.
Are you kidding me? It was $84 a barrel a few weeks ago.
I'll tell you it is. Not because just like after COVID, even when the prices should have came down, there's going to be price gouging to deal with and a whole lot of corruption on the back. I just can't imagine bringing prices down this quick, even if he got the oil flowing.
It is supply versus demand.
Even with this proper supply. Even with the proper supply.
You increased the supply, You increase the supply of oil, and you don't have anything blocking it like the Iranians right now. And that supply will build, and the prices for it will go down because you have an oversupply. And look, but let's go to Cuba real quick.
Hey, hold on. Before we'll go to Cuba. I'll give you, because we got to correct some of her time, but I'll just say this before we go to Cuba real quick. When you talk about supply and demand, I'll give you Florida during a hurricane, where there may be plenty of plywood available, which is what people buy to board up their homes before the hurricane. They just price gouge because they know you want it. It ain't that there's a shortage of plywood. They just gouge because they know what everybody's trying to buy.
If you gouge during a natural disaster, that's a great way to end up in prison. I mean, you do a lot of
not if you work for Trump or you're friends with Trump.
You're not doing it illegally.
Not if you're friends with Trump. But Cuba? What do you want to say about Cuba?
My God, dude. I'm never going to help you with. I mean, look, you want to make him the boogeyman under your bed. I love it. I love that for you. Seriously.
I'm gonna be looking forward to talking to you in 2 weeks about the price of gas. Talk to me about Cuba, though.
And you will, trust me. Cuba it's been a pain in our side. They're 80 miles off our coast. We cannot have them any longer being a disgruntled neighbor. It's over. It's
what the fuck? You're going to attack a country because they are quote-unquote disgruntled. So all the neighbors should be happy,
huh? People are in poverty. Their social programs have collapsed. They're eating out of dumpsters and trash cans. Yes, you've got to do something, or it's going to be a humanitarian crisis in that country. It's not the Cuba that you imagine right now.
So we're trying to
imagine this wonderful, Cuba, everybody doing the freaking merengue and shit like that.
What about Haiti? They're
now.
even poorer in Haiti. What about Haiti? I haven't heard them talk about Haiti.
Well, you need to talk to Hillary and Bill about
Haiti. No, he's president. What about him? He is president. What about him? Why isn't he saying nothing about Haiti?
Look, man, you guys are whining about the 2 places that we've been. I mean, we can only clean this up a little bit at a time. You guys lose your fucking minds.
Do you actually believe
people like Gangster Granny coming up here whining and crying because we just went 80 miles offshore trying to help our Cuban brothers?
So
you think if we go get Haiti? We're going to be accused of attacking black and brown people again, for fuck's sake.
We're in Iran. We haven't even done with Iran yet. We're talking about Cuba, but for some reason when I bring up Haiti, well, we can't do everything, huh?
Listen, Haiti has been a problem too. I'm agreeing with you. We go next. We'll go to Haiti next. When you said stuff about Venezuela, you asked me, hey, why don't we go blank? I'm in. Let's go.
How about this? Denkel suggests that these countries, he said, they're starving because of us. How about the notion that Cuba is the way it is because of the United States?
They're not our allies, Denkel. They're not our allies. They are not starving because of us. They went the China route, the Belt and Road route. They owe a ton of money to China, and now they're having problems. Anyone with half a brain could have told them they were going to have.
So none of the poverty or situational shit that's going on in Cuba has anything to do with the United States?
Not a damn thing to do with the United States. How? Their partners are Russia and China and Iran. How do we fit in that?
The embargo?
What did we do to them, Tim?
The embargo? They can't trade on the world stage because of the United States?
Their allies are Russia, China, and Iran. You expect us to allow them to freely trade 80 miles away from us and become adversarial 80 miles away from us? You are fucking crazy.
So in other words, we control who near us can exchange with our enemies. So in other words, if you're not
yes, you just said it. Thank God we can control it. Because if we were one of these other shithole countries, we would not be able to control it, would we?
Well, Denkel follows up with a really good point. If what you're saying, yes, he does. If what you're saying is true, he says, then why do we allow Russian oil to go to Cuba? Trump was just talking about that. Why did
every drop of Russian oil is sanctioned? Every drop. Listen, every drop they sell to Cuba is sold on the black market and is sold at a drastically reduce price and Russia could sell it. We are destroying Russia's economy at the same time.
That ain't
we're
true.
knocking out their buddy.
That is not true.
What are you talking about? It's not true.
This is Russia.
Name for me a country. Listen, this takes 2 seconds. Hold on 1 second. Don't drop me yet, okay?
This is Russia directly delivering a shipment of oil from their country to Cuba. Nothing to do with the black market. This is them doing it themselves.
Okay, in March of 2026, President Trump temporarily eased sanctions on Russian oil to stabilize the energy market. So we took sanctions off, meaning that oil was sanctioned in March this month. So it's no longer sanctioned. Do you understand? We eased the oil markets because of the activities we got going on in Iran. So in order to ease sanctions, what must happen? You have to have sanctions.
Yeah.
You have to have sanctions to ease sanctions, don't you?
Okay. So
I want to hear you say that. I want to hear you understand it. I want you to tell me you understand in order to ease a fucking sanction, you must first have the sanction.
In the comments, Cosmic Adam says, I would rather...
You can't even do it.
Cosmic Adam says, I would rather hear a car alarm for 3 days than hear his voice.
Personal attacks. You little bitches in the comments, resort to the personal attacks all you want. It doesn't help you, okay? It doesn't help you, or it doesn't help your argument. You're still wrong. You can send your gangsters, whether they're grannies or not. Step up.
So what are you saying? We need...
You want to talk to me? Step up. Cost you a galaxy, but
so,
go ahead.
So then Cal says, are you suggesting that we needed Russian oil to stabilize?
What do you mean? It's on the water. It's on the water. Why not use it? We don't need Russian oil to do it. We could have produced our own oil and sent it to them, couldn't we? But we didn't do that. Russian oil was already on. We had the power to unsanction the Russian oil. Why not do that?
I really think you're like just the 2 week gas prices are coming down. In addition, all this other crazy stuff you said.
Yeah, when it happens, I want an apology from you. When that happens,
I absolutely will
apologize for what you're about to say right
and
now.
I want you to give me one and not some bullshit. Well, give it another 2 weeks. I don't want to hear that. I want you to do the same.
Well, all right, then let's say this. In the very near future, 2 weeks, could be 3. Well, Tim, there's many a slip between a cup and a lip.
Yeah, right. Could be 6 months.
I'm telling you.
Could be 4 years.
We'll put a minimum and we'll put a maximum. 2 weeks from today to first week of May. How about that?
All right.
By the first week of May, if oil prices have not come down by the first week of May, I will eat my hat.
Not only is our gas prices not going to come down in 2 weeks, they're going to be higher than what they are right now.
It's a bet.
Yeah,
it's a bet, right?
Yeah, they're going to be higher than what they are right now.
Yeah, and I don't think that that's true. I disagree with you. Has that ever happened before? Someone ever disagree with you before?
Not anybody who was right. It's new. Not anybody who was right. We just told Venezuela not to say.
100% of the time is what you're trying to tell me.
Hey,
because I seem to remember several opportunities for me coming in here and cleaning up what you were saying and me being right every time.
All
I'm saying is, if you don't like listen, and this goes for your entire audience. This is getting ridiculous.
Some of my audience is MAGA. Wait, hold on. Some of my audience is MAGA, so be careful what you say. What are you about to say? This goes for every single person in this audience right now. 180 of them. If you don't like what your country is doing, and you don't like imperialism, whatever the fuck you think that means, I think looking out after our best interest, you can call it imperialism if you want. If you don't like it, and you don't like it on a consistent basis, then vote differently and shut the fuck up. And if you still, hold on, I'm not done. And if you still, after a period of time, don't like it and your vote doesn't seem to fix it, then get the fuck out of this country. How about that? Go find some place that you will like better and that better aligns with your political viewpoints. Easy. Solved. We'll leave it at that. Straight talk. Anything but straight, but I appreciate you coming on as always. I think you're
You
crazy.
can't get any straighter than that. Listen, if you don't like the woman you're married to, divorce her. Stop complaining. Quit your bitching.
I think you sound about as straight as Richard Simmons, man. I gotta go though. I gotta go. Appreciate you coming through.
Are you wait?
Really quick.
Hold on. Are you suggesting that I am homosexual?
I'll believe it at that. I gotta go. Tap the screen, get the likes up to 40,000. I always enjoy straight talk. Yes, he's MAGA. Yes, we disagree, but who gives a damn? The program is all about free speech. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. We are MAGA friendly. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome on the program as well. You can be critical of anybody on this program, including yours truly, as you've probably seen demonstrated today on today's show. By the way, for my YouTube viewers, I need some of you folks to smash that like button. Helps out with the algorithm, helps out with the numbers, helps out with the program. Please do so. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. And I see Dan Carey said, we just told Venezuela not to send oil to Cuba. True. I actually think Trump has some kind of soft side for Putin. I really do. I think Putin is one of those kind of guys that Trump just has the mindset of, we're not going to fuck with him. That's really what I think it is. Because Trump really has done nothing but spoke favorably of Putin ever since he came on the scene. Even when Putin has done things that the rest of the world, the rest of the free world in particular, thought was wrong. Trump found ways to suggest, well, you know, he's just protecting his country, or maybe we done something very similar. I mean, he's really, really downplayed the antics and behaviors of Russia under Putin. So I think that he just has a soft side to the guy, or perhaps maybe the guy has something on him, or nevertheless, maybe he views Putin as somebody he would just rather not fuck with. I mean, look, Putin has poisoned some of his adversaries and shit like that. In Western countries, I believe he poisoned an adversary in the UK. So maybe Trump feels like, well, shit, if I fuck with him, he'll find a way to get me, Secret Service or not. But I really believe that he will not cross lines with Putin. I really believe that. Netanyahu definitely has stuff on Trump, says Emily. Possible. I see Sexy Red said he got some on him. Possible. Delusions of grandeur didn't count. You're using big words on me, but yeah, I get your point. Israel has America on a short lease. And there's a whole lot of folks on the right that agree with you. The Candace Owens, the Megyn Kellys, the Tucker Carlsons. A lot of folks on the right believe that Israel, or better yet, Netanyahu, has something on Trump. A lot of them do. Tim is always good with free speech. He doesn't even have any mods. Thank you. And that is true, Master Zizek. Appreciate that. No, we don't have mods on the program. We're all about free speech. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. It's not a program where you always got to be favorable to the left and bashing the right, or vice versa. We take speech, criticism, political points from all sides of the aisle. What do we say? Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders, so I'm having dinner with Q. Continuing on with the program, though, how much you pay that guy to say that? I didn't pay him anything, Pope. He believes what he said. He's a genuine believer in what he says. By the way, folks, help your boy out with the TikTok cap. Hat and mustache goes. A little short. Guys, shorting your boy out. Must be a bad show today. Poisoning the man in the UK with an umbrella pinprick. Yep. Then an innocent woman died after finding a poisoned perfume. Yeah, Russia poisons its adversaries. That's why all of this bullshit about, you know, the Iranian citizens are being killed by the regime, or you heard my last guest talking about what's happening to Cubans. Russia is not treating their citizens right. Neither is Kim Jong-un. He went and met Kim Jong-un and had a great conversation with him. So I don't buy into the notion that what Trump is doing is somehow, some way, he's acting on for the betterment of citizens in oppressed countries. You can't even run against Putin. They claim to have democratically elected government. You can't even run against the guy. Marty Marr, thank you for the hat mustache. Appreciate that. So yeah, I don't buy into this whole notion that we're trying to help out citizens in oppressed countries. No. Because you hear Trump already talking about in Iran, taking their oil. He's already talking about doing that. Same thing that happened in Venezuela, suddenly controlling the oil. Haiti don't have shit. We're not going to Haiti, despite what my last caller was saying. Haiti doesn't have any resources that we're interested in, so we're not going there. Continuing on, by the way, tap the screen, get the like. Get us on up to 50,000. Tap the screen, get the likes up. Looking in the comments real quick. Honestly, I would love for him to be right, but based on history, that's not how this works. As going down to, yeah, I would like to know that we're trying to help out the oppressed and things like that too, but no. And I don't. And one of the things I want to say that I hate that I have to say, which is in regards to targeting civilians. My last guest was adamant that it is wrong to even think that the United States would target innocent civilians. But as I pointed out, in recent times, now folks are bringing up the bombing of Tokyo, the bombing of Dresden, giving blacks syphilis in the Navy. And I mean, yeah, our government has done bad shit. But in recent times, the double tap on the alleged Venezuelan boats, that's a war crime, by the way. When Trump is out of office, if they can show that we bombed an alleged drug boat, and there were stragglers holding on to the wreckage, and then we hit them again, that is a war crime. There's no way to explain that any other way. If we take out, I always use the example, if one of our destroyed, let's say, for instance, one of our subs, because we blew up an Iranian boat not long ago. If one of our subs takes out an enemy boat, war vessel, and the people are straggling on and holding on to the wreckage or floating in the water with life vests on, you cannot come back and kill the people. That is a war crime. That is what the Germans did during World War II, or the Japanese under Hirohito did. That is a war crime. You cannot strafe folks that are helpless at sea. The Trump administration laughed about doing that. If there's footage that shows that, somebody's going to go to jail for that. Somebody's going to be held accountable for that. Now, Trump, he'll be fine. He has immunity. He's 80 years old. He's filthy rich. He'll be fine. But anybody that did that under him, the Pete Hegseths and on down, they're going to get in trouble for that. Not to mention the person who pushed the button to send that rocket that blew up folks that were holding on to the wreckage. The individual that actually adhered to that order knew what he was doing was wrong. You can't kill people that are helplessly floating at sea. I don't care what their original crime was. They're not capable of implementing that while they're holding on to wreckage. You can't do that. So absolutely, that will end up getting somebody in trouble. Somebody just said the hat and mustache. Thank you. I did not see the name, but I do appreciate that. I think it came from Mike the Sailor. Thank you very much. Get us up to 40,000. We'll take the next caller. My grandma was Antifa on the beaches. What? My grandpa was Antifa on the beaches of Normandy. What the hell does that mean? Can't engage with non-combative marine vessels on international waters either. Yeah, there's an African-American admiral, I think he was, an admiral that just abruptly resigned when we started operating in the Venezuelan area. You'll hear him testify before Congress eventually. If the midterms go poorly for Trump, some of this stuff is going to start coming up. Some of this stuff is going to start coming up really quick. Because, yeah, you can't just strafe people at sea. And, of course, now that Trump is talking about taking out power plants and desalination facilities, you can't cut off the water supply to the citizens of a country. So there's going to be some answers to have to, some hell to pay on some of this stuff. Are you a traitor to this country, talking about what we have done to protect it, says Rick Young. Well, it's a good question. I guess the point is, if an American citizen thinks what we're doing is wrong, but the administration thinks what we're doing is protecting the country, should the American citizen just shut the fuck up? Should you just trust your government blindly? I gotta assume that the Third Reich was telling their citizens they were doing what was necessary to protect Germany. Do you trust that your government does not lie to you? I mean, is that what you're saying? Is if the government tells you what we're doing is to protect America, Should you just shut the fuck up and believe them? It's as simple as that. Because all governments are going to tell you what they're doing is operating on the betterment of that country. I got to assume even North Korea is saying that. So no, I don't believe that questioning or criticizing America is somehow being a traitor. I don't believe that. If you think they're genuinely doing something wrong, like bombing a school full of girls and blaming it on the host country, we didn't do that to protect America. Cutting off the desalination plants in Iran or cutting off the energy in Cuba, that's not protecting America. Cuba is not a threat to America that you need to do something like that. Let me go back to the box. Are we at 40,000? Just about. Tap the screen, get us up there, if you will. We'll go to Jeremy in the comments there. Good evening, Jeremy. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. You may hear that. Or leave 93 million without power. Yeah. I don't see where Cuba was a major threat to America where you had to put the country in darkness. I don't even see Venezuela being a threat to America where we had to do what we did down there. I don't see either one of those countries being a threat to America. But maybe to correct my last caller, Mike, welcome to the program.
What's up, man? Happy Monday. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. So I'm assuming you disagree with a few things from Straight Talk?
Well, you know what, man, you know what? Sometimes you be irritating the shit out of me, man. Check his ass, man.
What the hell you think I was doing?
No. Well, I'm gonna tell you when I was in the comments when he was talking about oil prices is 2 weeks and they all, you know, the crazy part is, Tim, who he's talking about is one of Donald Trump's people, but he's not talking about Donald Trump's energy department. See, here's the difference. Trump's own energy department said prices aren't going to be going down until July of 2027 at the earliest.
Well, hold on. You mentioned me not pushing back, and I'll let you continue. But did you not hear me tell him, whoever this person is you're talking about, not only are they MAGA, they literally must work for Trump. You just basically said the same thing I'm saying. You just said it in a different way.
I know. And again, this is what pisses me off. If he's going to come up and say people have said it, he should be able to say Chris Wright. Chris Wright is the energy secretary. Chris Wright said it. That's what he should have said. Chris Wright said it was going to go down and be resolved very quickly. Now, mind you, Chris Wright worked for the energy department that is said it's not going to go down for a year. Right? Not 2 weeks. And if you look at the chart on oil right now, listen, damn near all experts that I've been listening to, reading about said, if the Strait opened tomorrow, it would take several months to get oil back to its normal levels, right? Several months. Just because all the tankers are sitting out there, they've got to ship, they've got to get brought into port, it's got to get processed and shipped and all of that stuff. But the funny thing, so that's several months. But we're starting to go into spring and summer. So what normally happens at this time, Tim? The summer blends are coming in.
Yeah, but people actually travel more.
Yeah, and the summer blends are coming in. So gas historically goes up at this time of the year outside of this conflict. And you put the conflict on, and they're talking about gas is going to be at $4. Right? And nobody's saying it's going down.
Yeah, the 2 week thing really caught me by surprise. You're right. I haven't heard anybody, even Fox News analysts are not suggesting that. I don't know where he got that from.
Well, he gets it from his QAnon catalog. He has Q News. That's what or he just makes it the fuck up. And he does this all the time, but this is that far right friend shit that he's up here speaking. You understand what I'm saying? That's what he's saying because, listen, Tim, you guys, I need everyone to use their critical thinking skills. The reason why this whole thing is wrong, no matter what happens, he said that he thinks that just because we're sending troops over there, that somehow it's going to scare Iran into what are they going to do? What does he think? Them just showing up is going to make them go, okay, we surrender and we throw our hands up? Is that what he thinks is going to happen?
Yeah, that's what he thinks. Yes, that's what Trump thinks is going to happen. Trump has had a very successful life, businessman and politicians, basically bullying and scaring people and making them back down. Yeah, that's what he saw what happened in Venezuela. Yeah, that's what he thinks is going to happen.
Except for the ones that didn't back down.
Yeah.
Every time Trump's had to deal with somebody that did not back down, he historically lost.
Well, he didn't lose to Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's been some adversaries out there that he's been able to defeat.
You don't think that? So you think he was the winner in that Marjorie Taylor Greene breakup? Is that what you think?
I mean, is he the loser? I don't see where he's losing.
Well, look at his poll ratings.
That ain't got shit to do with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, that's got to do with what he's doing.
You don't think but she said it, and that's what caused the divorce. She came out and said the things out loud. You don't think when she left and she said that others that were MAGA supporters?
Yeah, she took a few, not many, but she took a few MAGA with her, I'm sure.
Yeah. And again, all of this bravado, all of this shit that they're talking, they know they're losing the popularity of this conflict globally. They're losing this thing. You can talk about whatever you want. By the way, that school was hit with 10-year-old data. So you're using 10-year-old data to identify a building on a military base. The fact that you won't use 10-year-old data is the kakistocracy and the incompetency of this administration.
Well, even with the 10-year-old data, even without even going into that, I asked him, well, how do you know Trump is not okay with this? I mean, Trump is not giving any indication whatsoever that blowing up that school full of girls was something he didn't view as a legitimate target, or maybe this will help them soften up and understand, they'll pay a price. I mean, he didn't say, I'm sorry. He didn't say it was terrible. He didn't say nothing. So how do you know he's not okay with it?
Well, and again, he never says sorry, right? He doesn't apologize.
So how do you? Yeah, right. So anything you do that is, if I come up and step on your toe and you yell, "Ow, man, you hurt my foot." If I don't apologize, how the hell you don't know I didn't try to do it intentionally?
Absolutely. And should the president of the United States be up here? And there's a couple of things I want to talk about too. He has no integrity. He has no decorum. He's not redeemable in any way, shape, or fashion. And the people around him are exactly the same. Marco Rubio's out there speaking about shit. They're just regurgitating.
I don't know, Rubio. There's a lot of respect for Rubio, even among independents. Still,
I don't know why. He's a piece of shit too. They're sitting over here lying. Listen, Tim. At the end, before this is all said and done, because if they're throwing around the putting boots on the ground, which I would argue we already have boots on the ground, just because they're not. None of our soldiers were unalived in Iran. You think their parents cared where it happened?
No.
You think their families cared whether it was in Iran or in Iraq or in Kuwait? You think they cared? They were over there. They were on the ground when it happened.
Right.
Over there fighting in this conflict. Period. Full stop.
Facts.
That's it. Listen, because I don't give my nephew's in the Navy on a ship. You don't think that our family doesn't see him as being on the ground?
Yeah. In
this conflict? Because listen, if you're in range and they're pew-pewing at you, that's a problem.
Well, now too, because they got those damn drones, ships at sea. I mean, certainly if you get in the Strait of Hormuz, you get in the Persian Gulf, those drones can reach those ships. I mean, obviously they're gonna try to shoot them down, but even in the Navy, you're in range of them.
Yes, and again, all you gotta do is anybody in this live, just go Google this stuff. Just think about it. The narrowest point in the strait is 21 miles wide. 21 miles wide. The military experts say that risk is almost like self-unaliving, because they don't have the time. They won't have the time to knock them all down because it's too close.
Yeah.
21 miles with the missile is nothing, or with the drone is nothing. And so that's why this is high risk. And then have you heard any assessment from any former military person say that boots on the ground is a winning strategy, Tim? Have you, in your research?
No, I've heard people suggest that boots on the ground will have high. Now, I assume if we put enough boots on the ground, we will eventually overtake Iran, just like we did in Normandy. But the death toll is going to be high. It's not going to be Venezuela where you can sit in and you take one or two casualties at best and it's over with. Or like when we took out Bin Laden, you send them in and it's a cakewalk. No, you're going to lose a lot of people. I mean, you could win eventually, but how many lives are you willing to sacrifice to get it done?
I know, and just real quick before I answer that, and I see what you said, Stevie D. Your ex is there. Hopefully she's okay, bro. All the politics aside, you don't want nobody to be lost. But I have people over there too that I've talked to, and putting boots on the ground is not something they want to do.
Hold on a second. Didn't Cal say the January 6th rioters are suing the government for using excessive force? Have you heard that?
No, but it doesn't surprise me because what's the name just sued and they just gave him $1.2 million.
Yeah, actually, Babbitt's family got 30 mil, I think, too. So Trump
Mike Flynn just got $1.25 million.
I'm about to become a Republican. That's where all the money is at.
I mean, man, listen. These people are losing their damn minds. I will say this, Tim. We're not backing out of this thing. This isn't one of the things where we're sorry and we're just gonna go home. Because here's the thing: out of every conflict, we always invest money to restore the infrastructure that we destroyed during conflict, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like the purse strings are going to tighten up. Financially, we're going to be dealing with this for a long time.
Yeah.
Emotionally, if you try to like think about this, and I don't know what if you've looked at any former military or military talking about, in order for us to even go on the ground and we're going to occupy it, you're going to need way more soldiers than we have over there right now. I saw some experts say, if you're talking about, because Trump just said yesterday he might take the oil. Now you're talking about, just sometimes. You did see that, right?
Yeah, I got it on tape. I clicked. That was part of the monologue. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, so now you're talking about taking something. In order for you to do that, you have to have a presence over there.
Yep. Well, he admitted that. Yeah, he did admit by doing that we would be over there for a long time. He did. I mean, not only do you got to have a presence, people are going to be dying during that because you're going to be targets.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I don't know why we think they're playing. I don't know why we think that they're not serious about protecting their country. And I told somebody this other night too. It's the same dumb shit that Straight Toss be talking. Tim, if you put boots on the ground, are we just counting their 1 million military members, including 390 in reserve? Or
I think
you're starting to count civilians now.
Yeah, you kind of make me think of the Japanese suggestion about invading America. It would be dangerous to invade America because there's going to be an armed person behind every blade of grass, indicating that not only would you be dealing with the military, but the citizens would have guns and rise up as well. You're right. If we invade the nation of Iran, you're going to be dealing with armed citizens as well.
Absolutely, and again, it's almost like your family member, like. You might have a brother where you're talking shit. You and your brother might fight, but nobody else better touch it. Because then both of y'all are going to end up jumping on that other person, right? So there's nothing. I told you Trump's is unredeemable. However, if another country physically attacked us here and wanted to come here, that's a problem. They're going to have to deal with citizens like myself.
Yeah.
So why would that not be the same thing there when they are moved by a much stronger ideology? This is the funny thing when they're saying they've been dancing in the streets and celebrating. Not everybody.
Well, I'm telling you, I think that based on what I'm hearing, at least, right or wrong, I believe that some of this stuff just has not been thought out. I mean, like the Trump administration, I still got some MAGA suggesting that, 60,000 protesters killed, they'll see us as liberators. There's no way in hell I think the average citizen in Iran is looking forward to America coming over there doing anything.
Absolutely. Well, look at it this way. Say 80% of the country want to be liberated, and then they're happy we're there. Just for shits and giggles, take the 8 and 20 right number. Well, you got 20% of 90 million people that would not be happy that we're there, that would still be in the street, that you would still have to be accountable for. We would have to account for as threats. Because here's the thing: they can't talk about all this fear mongering about children wearing vests and all of that, blah, blah, blah. So if that's the case, then you're going over there to that. You're going to have to deal with that. So how do you tell one person from another kid, from another adult? How do you tell the difference? This is not a good
So how do you, what is your perception? I mean, what is your guess on the outcome? Do we go all the way and literally put troops on the ground, or do we realize it'll be too expensive casualty-wise and back down? We are talking about President Trump. Now, Biden or Kamala Harris may be a different. I don't think we would be at war at all with Iran if Biden or Kamala Harris is president. But how does this end?
Man, honestly, Tim, I hope he just tucks his tail, tells his people we won, and gets the hell out of there. That's not a good option. There is no good option. This one is just far worse because of the lives that could potentially be lost by going in. Not potentially, that will be by putting boots on the ground, right? I mean, that is not a good option, but to walk away isn't a good option either. That's why I told you this whole conflict was fucked from the beginning. This American excellence, this white.
Did I lose my caller? Mike, are you there?
I just got a call real quick. This white supremacist idea that we can just be emboldened enough and arrogant enough to just walk into a country 3 or 4 times the size of Iraq and just bordered by mountains all around and just say that we're just going to just. This is why when they say we've been after this, and President Trump was the first one to do it after 47 years, there was a reason for that, motherfucker. There was a reason why people didn't do that shit. Right? It's so funny how they never measure that part of it, Tim. They talk about it like he's the only one with courage, or he's the dumbest motherfucker to do it because it's a lose-lose situation. You have no backing from NATO, and why? Because this wasn't a defense. They didn't present anything to NATO to support doing this.
How about this though? In the comments, one of the viewers on YouTube is saying boots on the ground where? Karg Island only. What if we only put boots? Now I already got my opinion on this, but what if we don't put boots on Iran? But Karg Island really is like putting boots on the ground in Iran. That's like putting boots on the ground in Hawaii. That's part of the United States. But
right.
What about just only putting boots on the ground and taking over Karg Island?
You might as well sign their unalive warrants. It's 2 miles wide by 5 miles long. That's it. That's it. The island is 2 miles wide and 5 miles long, Tim. That's it. Where are you going? Where are you hiding? You've actually put yourself literally on a fucking island. I mean, Tim, does it make any sense to you?
Well, I guess. Yeah, the only in response to that, the only way you could have them safely on Karg Island is you're going to have to do something to soften up the sovereign country that is real close to Karg Island, because that's where the bombs and drones and shit. So you're going to have to fuck with Iran as well. You can't just put people on Karg Island and leave Iran, right across the, a small amount of water right there. Because yeah, you're right. I mean, it's like taking over the main island in Hawaii, but leaving the other islands in the hands of the folks. Well, that's where a lot of your ordinance is going to come from. You're going to have to do something with them other islands too. So if we put people on Karg Island, we're going to have to do something with Iran, at least in the vicinity of that island, which is probably a good 100 miles of Iran you got to fuck with.
Yes, at least. And then here's the other part. How do you get supplies in and out to those soldiers? Food, water, supplies to be there extended period of time, because there's no reason to go do it for a day or a week.
It'll have to be like the Berlin airlift. It'll have to be all via air, because you can't put ships in that waterway. You're not going to be able to do that.
But your landing spot is 2 miles by 5. You've got a very small window to drop things by air onto this piece of land without them firing and dropping. Tim, listen.
The logistics of it is hell. I get what you're saying. The logistics is hell.
Logistics is terrible, and they don't know what they're doing. And he got these loyalists. He put people in place that don't know what they're doing, and now we're in a position where And he's been saying, you got to remember though. See, this is how fast the cycle. When you call him winning because they just keep talking, it allows people to forget when he said it was over within the first hour. And then we're winning, and then they want to come to the table, and then they're desperate, and they were saying all of this shit. Yeah, but does it feel like does it feel like they're desperate to you, Tim?
No, and that's what he's saying, that they're begging for a deal. Yeah, I mean, Trump, listen, anytime Trump has a conversation with anybody, it's going to be a great conversation. He had a great conversation with Kim Jong-un when they met. He had a great conversation when Putin came to Alaska last year. Nothing ever comes out of this stuff that's tangible, but for him, it's always a great conversation. It's just in his nature to speak positively of anything he's involved in, even if nothing positive comes out of it.
I mean, it's crazy. You know what, Tim? Think about this. Did you hear Pete said had to praying for overwhelming destruction in Iran? Did you hear about that?
No, but it sounds. I mean, that's what they're kind of doing. I believe it.
And then the Pope.
I saw the Pope. Yeah, I saw the Pope.
And then the Pope came out and said, "We're rejecting prayers for war." No, I mean, these people have lost. And then the idea.
Well, Trump is not Christian, and I don't think Trump has any love for the Pope at all, anyway.
Well, because until the Pope says he loves him, then he's gonna go, "I love that guy," right? That's all it's gonna fucking take.
You're right.
You're right. Real quick, because I know my time's coming short. I want to talk, I don't want straight talk commerce. When he talked about those sanctions on Russia, he actually stepped on his own dick, trying to make it seem like it was a good thing. It didn't do anything with the markets. Oil didn't go down. What it did is it allowed Russia to make money off of that oil. It gave them more resources against Ukraine. It didn't do anything to the markets. If you look at the markets, because it was a temporary deal from March 12th to April 11th. Well, what has the gas done? No, it's still gone up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, Trump has a soft side for Putin, and he don't really care much for Ukraine. I mean, it is what it's. So the fact that allowing Russia to trade oil again is helping Russia and hurting Ukraine, I don't think Trump gives a damn. He's never had much love for the Ukrainians anyway.
I don't disagree with you at all. I'm simply saying he said he did it to help, to ease and it didn't help shit.
Yeah. Well, he's also saying that he's about to try to help the citizens of Cuba, help the citizens of Iran. I mean, the man says things like that.
He's helping them help themselves. And I know you got to go in a second. Two quick things. When the man stood on that stage and said, "You can ask me anything, including sex," I know you've had Trump supporters trying to make that not be a big deal. But the man stood on stage and said, "You guys," in front of investors, mind you, they can ask him anything they want, including if they want to ask him about sex. How is that the first thing that comes out of your mouth as a president? How is that the first thing that comes out of your mouth? But see, these are the things. This is the arrogance that's going to get a lot of Americans hurt. This shit is not going to continue. We're going to have to pay for this financially, economically, geopolitically speaking, across the board. This isn't going to end well, and it's sad that people want to continue to defend it, but they're going to. And then they make us seem like we are supporting Iran. No, we're not. I really want our U.S. service members back here defending us from situations that this country, before Donald Trump, has taken these other countries and made. They act like unaliving to America was new. They've been saying that.
Yeah.
They've been saying that. And lastly, Erica Kurt and Drewski. Did you talk about that?
We talked about it more than once. That's
okay. I'm not gonna get into it, but the audacity for them to be to be hypocritical about that when you guys didn't see anything wrong with the Obama memes. You guys.
I don't look. Shitting on protesters, you name it. I mean, to me that's insane, Eric. But I don't even hear I don't hear a lot of MAGA complaining about what Drewski did. I think that's more just Erica Kirk, because a lot of MAGA don't like Erica Kirk. Cause now that Candace Owens and some of them, so it's a lot of MAGA that don't even like. They think that she may have had something to do with the death of Charlie.
I'm not about to get.
I gotta go. Right. Mike, thanks for coming through.
All right, bro.
Appreciate it. I need you guys to get us up to 70,000. The thumbs ain't thumbing today. Tap the screen, had mustache, TikTok cap, none, huh? Just none. Bad show, bad show. Anyway, looking in the comments here real quick, or the 100 actors that have done blackface over the years. Yeah, I don't like I said, and thank you for the great. Appreciate that. Thank you. I believe that yeah, I believe that a lot of folks on the right, a lot of MAGA don't like Erica Kirk. I mean, some of the phoniness is really it's over the top. It's kind of some of the actions that she does. I think she's a little bit better looking than Tammy Faye Baker, but she's younger. But very simple. Remember Jim and Tammy Faye Baker? If you're Gen X, if you're Gen Xers, you remember them. Jim and Tammy Faye Baker. They were television evangelists, and I think they ended up getting caught in some corruption type shit. Leap of faith, kind of robbing their members and shit. Like, to me, that's kind of what the whole turning point USA. To me, that's what I kind of see out of that shit. But anyway, I do believe that a lot of MAGA do not favor Erica Kirk. I think a lot of them do not like her. She sure got over her husband's death pretty damn quick, taking, vlogging with the body and shit like that. And that's like some Kardashian shit, where you're literally videoing yourself over his body and all. Yeah, I don't know, but like I said, a lot of MAGA are not big Erica Kirk fans. Anyway, looking in the comments though, administration charlatan, huh? And Jim Baker was found to be gay too. I did not know that. Is that true? Jim Baker was found to be gay. I did not know that, freedom fighter. Wow. Why don't you let President Trump make the decisions and you go learn about the Democratic Party? Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, etc. Yes, bad show. Thank you for your input. But I'll tell you this. When you say, why don't you let President Trump make the decisions and learn? Because Trump don't do that. When Obama was president, he didn't even let Obama be president and make the decisions. He was criticizing Obama constantly. So what, he gets a special pass? If we think he's fucking up, it's wrong to say that, but if he thought a guy was fucking up when he was a citizen, he could speak out? That sounds like, holding Trump's dick syndrome, for lack of a better term. Why is it wrong to criticize him, but it's okay for him to criticize others? Make that make sense. Same amount of eye makeup. So you say, I don't know, does Erica Kirk have yeah, I guess she does. Not as much as Tammy Faye Baker, though, does she? That's a bit much. Alter Ego, thank you. Appreciate that. Shout out to you, Alter Ego. Appreciate the support there. I just happened to notice that. Thank you very much. This is a great show. Tim's haters are going to hate. Can't do what I do without getting a few haters. I don't mind. Look, I respect my haters. When I say you can speak your mind on this show, it's all about free speech. We don't ban or block folks that are critical of the program. We mean that. We absolutely mean that. You shouldn't criticize him. You got a picture of him. And I got pictures of Kamala, pictures of Biden, pictures of Obama. They're the current leaders of the country. That's it. The pictures are up because they are the current president and vice president. When they're gone, it'll be replaced by whoever replaces them. It's a simple. If JD Vance becomes president, he'll move up to the top, and the next guy who he chooses as a running mate will be featured below him. I don't hate on Tim, says or whatever this is. I don't hate on Tim, but I don't like that blue line flag, though. You don't like the flag supporting the police? Why not? Let me know. Talk about the hair hatted ratchets. Don't know what that means. Anyway, let me go back to the box. Are we at 70,000? Tap the screen, get the likes on up. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button. Help your boy out. Smash the like button. Doesn't cost you any damn thing. Helps out the algorithm. If you favor this type of open dialogue from all sides of the aisle, and you're happy to be watching us live on Instagram, TikTok, or Substack, follow the program. If you're watching us live currently on YouTube, give your boy a sub. We're here most weekdays. Best politics talk show on live. Keep it up, Tim, says Lorenzo. That is a very, very kind gesture. We appreciate that. Thank you very much. Got to accept our presidents even if we don't support them. I agree with that. However, I will add that MAGA did not accept Biden. They said he was an illegitimately appointed president. They believe he stole the election. I agree with you, but MAGA does not agree with you. MAGA wants everybody to accept Trump because he's our president, but MAGA did not do that with the last president. I don't even think a lot of MAGA accepted Obama as president. So I do want to point that out. That's being hypocritical to suggest everybody accept your guy when you didn't accept the last guy. That's the whole game, whole video game. He gets a free pass. They pretend he didn't say something when he says something. He's not responsible for what he says. He didn't really mean that. They didn't give him a pass. Well, usually when Trump says something that is outlandish, they say it's a joke or you're taking that out of context or something of that nature too. MAGA accepted Biden. You didn't see us going out protesting no kings or no diapers. I don't know which one. Yeah, you didn't accept Biden as president. That's not true. You guys said you said that Trump won 3 times. No, you believe that Trump won. You believe that Biden stole the election. No, you didn't accept MAGA. MAGA did not accept Biden. You didn't have a choice. You couldn't do anything about it, but MAGA absolutely did not accept Biden as president. Handsome conservative. Why should we accept our president even if we feel they are not working for the best interests of all Americans? Because they're president. They officially are in the office. You can criticize your president, but regardless, he is your president. Handsome conservative, good evening.
Good evening.
So, targeting civilians. Is it wrong to suggest that the Trump administration may be doing that?
Hold on a second, man. I owe you and I owe Straight Talk an apology.
Both of us.
I'm a man of my own. Both of you, man. I'm the one that sent that super chat asking for gangster grandma. I'm the one that did that. I brought the evil up. I am sorry. I apologize. I'm going to put my politician hat on. I was mistaken.
What did she do?
It was my fault.
What did gangster grandma do?
She walked all over the both of you, man. She treated you like George Jefferson. I'm just going. She was moving on up. It was my bad.
But that is typical gangster grandma. She wasn't any different than she normally is.
Yes, but I paid you money and specifically asked for that, and that was my bad.
Fair enough.
Stepping up. I apologize. Okay. I was mistaken.
All right, fair enough. Well, with gangster grandma, you kind of know what you're getting. You know she doesn't pull punches, so you kind of know what you're getting there.
Yeah, I kind of have a small little love for when she goes off on you. It's funny.
Okay, well, I'm hoping that we can get folks who don't want to see. But look, I'm in favor of free speech. But let's get into the show though. Targeting civilians.
Right, what's up?
Targeting civilians. Is it wrong to suggest that Trump appears to be targeting civilians?
I didn't know he was targeting civilians.
Well,
I mean, other than are we talking about the school full of girls?
No,
because I think that was Israel. I told you that.
Israel. Well, Trump is saying he thinks it was Iran that blew up their own school, which, yeah, we talked about that, and you admitted you think that is ridiculous. I'll give you a clip. I want you to hear this, because this is what I'm talking about that leads to the question, are we targeting civilians?
Go straight.
And just this morning, Trump taking to social media and issuing yet another threat against Tehran. He said, quote, "The United States of America is in serious discussions with a new and more reasonable regime to end our military operations in Iran. Great progress has been made, but if for any reason a deal is not shortly reached, which it probably will be, and if the Hormuz Strait is not immediately open for business, we will conclude our lovely stay in Iran by blowing up and completely obliterating all of their electric generating plants, oil wells, and Karg Island, and possibly all desalination plants, which we have purposefully not yet touched. Natasha, it's important to note here that power plants are, of course, civilian infrastructure, as are desalination plants, which really they're essential to providing civilians with drinking water throughout the Middle East. Destroying both would almost certainly violate international law and be a war crime.
Absolutely.
Cutting out the fresh water supply. What is that?
So what you meant to ask me is he's not targeting civilians, he's targeting civilian infrastructure.
And
that's what I got.
What's the difference between what's the difference between targeting civilians and targeting their infrastructure if it's going to kill them?
Well, I mean, to borrow from Straight Talk for a second, because I was listening to him earlier, targeting civilians is sending rockets into hotels and apartment buildings.
Right.
Targeting civilian infrastructure is taking out the water plants and the electric plants, which in that case, most of the time, the civilians are running for the hills anyhow. I mean, they're leaving. They got like air warnings.
Yeah, but what I don't get, to me, targeting civilians versus targeting infrastructure would be like the difference between going into a room where a heart patient is at and either putting a knife in their chest or turning off the machine. I mean, it's the same. The result is going to be the same. If you take away their fresh water supply, as opposed to just bombing their house, you're still killing people.
Well, now, I'm torn on this one. I really am. Okay, if we are at war, and I say this because for some reason it seems to be a debate, but if
debate with who the hell is debating? Well, MAGA is. MAGA's debating.
Some people say that we're not. Some people say that we are. I'm trying to be fair here. If we are at war, all's fair in war.
That's not true.
We are not.
That is not true.
I know you're going to say something to the effect of there are articles of war and stuff like that we should.
You don't agree with that?
I do. I don't.
So you're okay with so
if we are at war, then I think taking out a power plant and a water treatment plant is perfectly okay.
So
I would rather they do that than take out a school full of kids.
No, I said I'm trying to. So babies on bayonets. I mean, you said there's no rules. Where are you drawing the line at?
Well, I'm saying that I would rather take out the plants.
I get that,
than
but
I would the children or attacking hotels and apartment complexes.
I get all that, but you did
infrastructure.
Do you believe there should be rules? Because you said we're at war. Are you saying there are no rules at war?
I don't see how you can have rules at war. I don't see how it can be a war and you have rules at war. And given the two evils, I would rather have a plant taken out than a school full of children, or an apartment complex where a family is sitting down for dinner, or a motel that somebody went and stayed out for their honeymoon, or something like that.
I don't know if I agree with
you. The plants.
I don't know if I agree with you. Would I rather be blown up at a wedding or die of dehydration? To me, the dehydration thing is going to be far more painful and more like torture. I would rather just get it over with real quick.
So, I hear what you're saying. I do. I'm not trying to minimize what you're saying. I'm just trying to say, in my opinion, I believe taking out a building, an electrical building that provides power, is a lot better than taking out an apartment building with a bunch of families sitting down to dinner. You know, to me, it seems like the lesser of two evils.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I'm for it, but I would rather that than the other.
Yeah, I disagree. If you turn the country into like Gaza, where they literally had people starving to death, I don't see how that. I mean, you blew them up at a wedding, or they died over 6 weeks of not eating. To me, I'd rather just go out instantly. I don't want to sit there and waste away. That ain't better.
Why don't we compromise? Why don't we come to the table and compromise? How about this? They can surrender. Nobody else has to die.
What are they surrendering? What are they surrendering to? You understand that they believe America is trying to fundamentally change their entire existence. Why would you're going to surrender to a guy who's literally making videos about blowing you up with animals and cartoons? He is literally joking about killing them. That's the guy you're going to surrender to?
I honestly, I haven't seen those, man. I don't know.
I've played them here.
I don't think the White House is making those videos.
The video literally says the White House at the conclusion of it. It shows you people dying. They're playing rap music to it. And it literally says the White House with the emblem on it at the end of the video. The White House is making them. I repeat, the White House is making them.
And just to make sure, you're sure that this isn't like a TikTok video somebody made or something like that?
I'm 100% sure it's coming from the White House's site. Yeah, 100% sure of that.
I will take your word for it because I haven't seen it. I don't think making videos like that is tasteful. I mean, no, we shouldn't be doing that. But I mean, when it comes down to it, man, I'm just saying I would rather take out a plant than I would an apartment building or school building. Or I mean, come on, man. I mean, if you really want to minimize lives, if you want to save lives, if you want to save lives, let's take out a plant instead of an apartment building. That's got to make sense.
To me, it's like tomato. Instant death, instant death versus a long, drawn-out death. Death is death. I mean, what he's doing is killing people. It's just not instantly.
Well, what exactly do you know? What exactly Trump is asking for? He said something about we're in negotiations with Iran. What is he asking?
Well, first of all, Iran says he's not in negotiation with them at all. So that's the first thing. I don't even know if he's telling the truth about that. But what he wants is. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I would assume he wants the Strait open so oil can get through. I'm assuming he wants an end to the war between Israel and Iran. And I mean, those two things seem pretty reasonable.
Yeah, wait, hold on. You don't kill the head of their. You don't kill his father, his wife, his children. Reasonable how? What are we giving him? You say it's reasonable. What is America giving Iran?
We're giving them the end to the war. We're giving them. We're going to stop if we can come to a peaceful negotiation, whatever that may be. I mean, there's going to have to be a negotiation.
I don't hear. To me, it sounds like do what we asking or die. That's the negotiation. Well, we're letting you live. That sounds reasonable. We're not giving them anything.
Okay, but let's say we go your route. Let's say that we don't negotiate and the war keeps going. Didn't you just say we have 20,000 paratroopers sent over there, plus all the other soldiers? Okay, so which is the lesser of two evils? Let's negotiate and come to a conclusion and end the war.
But you're negotiating with nothing.
Opening up the straits and putting an end to the war, or we can send in our troops and a bunch of American citizens can die, and then the Democrats can yell that a bunch of American citizens died.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here saying let's put it into it.
Yeah, but you're talking about we're offering nothing. That's not a negotiation. This is kind of the same thing with the Democrats and the Republicans on getting the TSA agents paid, and they're blaming the Democrats. You're offering them nothing. That's why they're not working with you. You're giving them nothing.
Let me ask you this. We've been bombing them, right?
Right.
We've been hitting them with missiles and flying planes.
And they've been hitting us, and they have been hitting us too.
Israel's been doing that too, right?
Right.
Shooting rockets and, okay, we're offering them to put an end to it. Let's stop killing them.
No, you're not
And
just
that should be
offering. You're not just offering them to put it into it. You're demanding other things from their country while giving them nothing. We're offering them nothing.
What are we demanding? The guy that we wanted dead is already dead. He's
No,
dead.
we're suggesting
What are
that
we demanding?
well, first of all, obviously they can't have nukes, so we're preventing that. We're also suggesting that I don't know if they're still talking about we want to have inspections into their country, but we're trying to control how they. What did he say? We want to put a leader in there. The Ayatollah's son can't be the leader. Trump said he wants to have some say so in who leads their country. We're offering them nothing for all this stuff.
Well, here's the thing, and this is just my opinion. It's not worth much, but this is just my opinion. If we took out the original leader of the country, and I believe he was also the religious leader, okay? But if we took out that leader, and that leader was butt fucking crazy, then wouldn't his son be butt fucking crazy too? And why would we want him in power?
Well, you do
we would have had our soldiers die for nothing.
Right? But here's the point. You're talking about taking out a butt fucking crazy leader, and now his son being butt fucking crazy. You got to understand, when Trump started talking about taking Greenland and shit, people think our leader is butt fucking crazy.
Yeah, but the difference is they can't get to our leader. We can obviously get to theirs.
I don't know. You never know, man. I wouldn't be so sure about that. You can only fuck with so many people at once before they start finding ways to get to you. Don't be so sure of that.
And Greenland, we didn't Greenland's still Greenland, right? We didn't take Greenland.
Yeah, because all of the NATO member nations started sending troops in defense of the NATO member nations truly believed that Trump was for real about that. They put troops on that island they were ready to fight back. Yeah, they believed that.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I did hear that. I was kind of disappointed in Trump, man. I'll be honest, that was a perfect opportunity to whoop some NATO ass. But
so what do you want? You want to take on all of Western,
our so-called allies.
So you want to take on militarily all of Western Europe too?
No. I don't have respect for people that's supposed to have our back and don't have our back, but we give them money and cover their asses, you know.
How the hell, wait, hold on. How the hell can we expect somebody to help you? You went out and got in a fight with Iran and didn't even do so much as give us the common courtesy to warn us so we could get our citizens out the war zone. Now you complaining that we don't have your back?
Wait a minute. That's not what happened.
That is what happened.
No. What happened was we went over there to scare the piss out of them. Because remember, we were sending ships. We were sending aircraft carrier. We were sending warships over there. Israel started the fight. We backed our ally.
And you don't think we knew Israel? Wait.
Like they're supposed to back us. Because they're our ally. We backed Israel.
Israel,
our ally.
First of all, America knew when Israel was about to launch the first attack. And when Israel launched their first attack, we were right in. Israel didn't start the fight. We, with Israel, did that. It wasn't like there was a period of time where only Israel was attacking Iran. We were in it from the moment it began. So Israel and America did that.
Israel launched first. Dude.
And how long was it before America? How long after Israel launched did America launch?
Well, we did the right thing at that point.
How long was it after Israel launched?
It wasn't.
Like 5 minutes?
If I were to guess.
Like 5 minutes?
If I were to guess, do you want me to answer you?
Go ahead.
If I were to guess, I would say yes, you're right. I would say about 5 or 6 minutes. But my point stands the same. They're our ally, and we back them up. But our allies don't back us up. See, that's the problem.
And I'm going to say what I just said. If you don't give us the common courtesy to get our people out of the war zone, How the hell you gonna complain that I didn't have your back? I got citizens. You're bombing this place. My people are there. You wouldn't even tell me so I could have them come home. So now we're trying to do rescue flights and shit and get our citizens out of the war zone that you just created. But now you need help, and suddenly I'm supposed to just jump up and help you. Where were you before doing that to my citizens?
Okay, I apologize, man. I had to hang up on a call. So the first half of what you said didn't come through.
We decided to, as you say, help Israel within 5 minutes of them launching an attack, and we didn't do so much as even give our allies the common courtesy to warn them, you need to get your citizens home. This is about to become a war zone. They had in fact, we didn't even warn Americans. You had Americans that were stranded in a war zone. So you do something like this, and then you complain that we don't have your back? You left our people out there that could have gotten killed. But you're talking about we don't have your back. Where was the warning at?
Well, look, I can only speak. I can only speak as an American for America. I can't speak for France or England or the UK and shit like that. All I'm saying is it would be nice to see our allies actually have our back.
Would
That's
it be
all I'm saying. After all the millions of dollars and holding up their countries for years that we have done for them, they should be beside us.
It would be, how about it would be nice before you attack a country to give us a heads up so we can get our people out of harm's way? What about that?
It's a good point, and I don't know why they didn't do it. I don't have the answer to that. All I know is what I've seen on the news, on Al Jazeera news and shit like that. I don't have the answers to everything. All I'm saying is we got two choices. We can either sit down and come up with a peace plan that'll make everybody happy, which is going to mean opening up the strait, okay, so the world's oil can get through, or we're going to end up doing something like taking out their power plant. Pick one. Which one is the lesser of two evils?
I don't see why you got to take the power plant out.
Because we want to put an end to the war.
That ain't gonna do it.
Dude,
because Iran has already Iran has already promised that if we take out their power plant, all of the neighboring countries that we're allies with, they're going to start taking out their power plants. Now you're going to create a whole humanitarian disaster throughout the fucking Middle East.
Iran can't be trusted, dude. They're already attacking these other countries next to them that have nothing to do with the war. They've blown up hospitals over there. I've watched them blow up apartment buildings. I've watched them blow up. Why
is that such a surprise? Why? Just like my last straight talk was
talking. They're not fighting them. The other countries aren't fighting them. They're attacking civilian infrastructure because America has bases there. Instead of attacking the Americans, they're attacking the people that aren't fighting.
Wait, hold on. If Cuba allows, let's say we're at war with Russia, and Cuba allows Russia to put bases on their island, you're going to tell me we only going to fuck with those bases? You're telling me Trump would not threaten Cuba at all? Only the base they would attack.
I don't see the purpose.
That ain't what I asked you. That ain't what I asked you. What do you think Trump would?
I think if Trump is half as smart as he thinks he is, I think he should take out the military bases of the enemy. Or at least,
but you know damn well if Cuba is working with Russia, Trump's going to have a problem with Cuba. You know that. So I don't know why we're going to pretend like that Iran. We're going to pretend like Iran. Or all of these attacks are coming from all of these neighboring countries that have given America authorization to use their bases to attack Iran, and Iran's not supposed to have a problem with any of them, huh?
You know Iran is working with Russia and China.
That ain't got nothing to do with what I just said, though. That ain't got nothing to do with what I just said.
It's a pretty nice. Okay, go ahead.
If Bahrain, a neighboring country, allows America to use its airstrips and bases to launch attacks on Iran, then Bahrain is an enemy of Iran. It's a simple. You're okay with them sitting here and launching attacks from your country and hurting our people? Then you're not our friend. You're just as much of an enemy as America is at that point. All of those countries, Kuwait, all of them countries that are allowing America, they don't gave America authorization to attack Iran from their sovereign territory. Then that makes you the enemy too. That's how we would do it.
I don't think that the people driving to work that live over there, that are just trying to earn a living to feed their family, would see it that way. I think the person with the guns and the missiles should be fighting the person with the guns and the missiles.
That ain't realistic.
Not the people that are trying to go to work and trying to make a living for their wives and take care of their children. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me, Tim.
That's just not, like I said, America, the example I gave you of Cuba, or even let's say Canada, allowed China to put bases in this country. And I'm just simply saying, Mexico, you name it, any country that is allowing the enemy to put bases in their country and the enemy is launching attacks from those bases, that country is now in danger. America would absolutely hit those countries. I don't know why all of a sudden when Iran does it, it's suddenly you don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, I'll be honest with you. Me and my brother have been having this exact argument. I think basically better to take out the buildings of infrastructure than to take out the people that are just trying to make a living. That's it's just me, dude. I think it's a better way to bring an end to the war.
Yeah. Well, I'm just simply saying, if you don't want Iran fucking with you, don't take sides with the enemy. Just like if you don't want America fucking with you, you're going to let them launch attacks from your country and complain that they're attacking you. That's not how that works. I'll give you the last word.
We're obviously not going to agree on that. So what do you say we just bring our troops home right now and we do a soft invasion of Canada instead?
Give it time. With Trump, he's already said Cuba's next, so you got to do Cuba first, and then we'll see where he goes after that.
Now I'm against Trump because right there we should have done Canada first. Anyhow, support your local liberal, and thanks for arguing with me. I love your program.
Appreciate it. Always a pleasure having you on, man. Thanks for coming through. All right, by the way, what do I always say? Tap the screen. A lot of lazy thumbs. We might get to the 100K mark today. I'm just struggling to get the support today. That's what I keep saying. I don't know. But anyway, so take away hardworking man's drinking water. Yeah, that's a good point, Billy Wap. I don't know. I think America, particularly in the case with Iran, is making it clear that they have this mindset of our shit don't stink. You absolutely blaming Iran for what they're doing to their neighboring countries. We absolutely would do that. And most Americans would be 100% okay with that happening. If any of these countries out in the Caribbean, the Bahamas, the Virgin Islands, Haiti, I mentioned Cuba, any of these countries if any of those countries decided to allow our enemy to have a base there, and our enemy was launching attacks from that area, we would have no problem attacking that country. That country would instantly become an enemy of the United States. Let's say ISIS. ISIS has been on our radar for quite a while now. Let's say Cuba allowed ISIS fighters to train and be in that. You're going to tell me we wouldn't fuck with Cuba at all, huh? We would be talking about a whole regime change in Cuba, completely invading that country. We're not just going to attack the base. That's crazy. Well, Bahrain is letting the United States use their area, but you should just attack the base. No, the government of Bahrain decided we're going to let America launch attacks from our country. It's kind of like shooting at the cops out of your front door and complaining, well, why are they putting holes in the basement windows? Your whole house is now fair game. If you start firing rounds out of that house, your whole house is likely to get shot up We're not going to hit just certain parts of the house. The whole house is good to go. I don't know how folks expect Iran to only attack the bases. But Trump's talking about taking out the infrastructure of the country and that's okay. Anyway, let me go back to the box. To me, I think that's kind of laughable, but I need you to tap the screen, get us on up to 95. The enemy is the world. Everybody's trying to get over on the man on top. That's been that way since the invention of man. You don't talk about Yemen. That's where, what is it? Is it the Houthis in Yemen? It's the Houthis, Hezbollah, and Hamas. Hamas is in Gaza. One of them is up north in Lebanon, and then the other one is in Yemen. I get the Houthis and Hezbollah mixed. One is in Yemen, one is in Lebanon, but they all hate Israel. You don't talk about Yemen. What about that other oil water canal? Yes, that is something to talk about. That's over on the Red Sea. Yeah, that is another one, because if they close that, that's going to be 20% of the shipping coming out of that as well. And that's very likely to happen. That is very likely to happen. That's a good point you brought up. I haven't brought it up as much because it hasn't quite happened yet, but that is very, very good point. That is likely to happen. I mean, the mere fact of just being on a boat is not a war. Huh? Don't know what that means. Monica, thank you for the love your show, sir. Thank you. Appreciate that. Glad to have you here, Monica. Tap the screen. By the way, if you're watching us on YouTube, smash that like button. It helps out the algorithm. Brings in more MAGA, of course. I mean, the mere fact of just being on a boat is not no, but it's a threat. I mean, didn't we have the Cuban Missile Crisis where Russians were just on boats? We were willing to go to war with them over that. It's a threat. You don't put warships near our shores. And by the way, Cuba is a sovereign country. We would not let Cuba. That's a perfect example of what I just said. If you allow the enemy to take up bases here, you're going to be a problem. I mean, Kennedy was willing to go to war with Russia and prevented Cuba from allowing Russia to open up a base there. It's a good example of it. It has historical precedent. I don't know why it's so shocking that Iran is bombing their neighbors that are cooperating with America. That's why Spain, a NATO member nation, Spain told America, no, you cannot bomb Iran from our, because we asked Spain if we could use their airfields. They told us no. Trump has had some choice words for Spain. But hey, Spain could see what's happening to Kuwait, Bahrain, and some of the neighboring nations and be like, see, that would be us if we were fucking with you. That would be us right now. You're not stopping them because most of them bases that surround Iran has hit those bases. I think they said like 13 bases, 13 U.S. bases have been rendered completely uninhabitable. That's where a lot of those injuries you're hearing of, 13 dead, a bunch of injuries, that's where it's happening. They just took out a E-3 Sentry aircraft. Big ass aircraft with the big radar dome on top. You've seen it on the news, they blew that up. They're actually hitting some shit. No, they're not as deadly as America by air. No, but they're not missing. It's not that Israel and America is shooting down 100% of their shit. Some of their stuff is actually getting through. So Spain is like, see what would have happened if we had to let them use our base to launch attacks? Iran might be trying to bomb us. Not to mention all of the future terrorist attacks that may come from this. You could have Iranian sympathizers responding to this with mayhem for years. You don't know when. You don't know when this may end. For years, you could have that shit happening. Looking in the comments, Benicio says, you sound happy about our planes being shut down. Well, you have your right to determine what happiness means. I'm not happy about none of this shit. I'm not happy about a president that's on television showing them being killed and making comedy about it. I'm not happy about any of this stuff. I think this war was 100% optional and unnecessary. And now we've kind of backed ourselves in a corner that we got to deliver on something that's going to require mayhem to do so. I don't think the American people are going to benefit at all because of this. I don't think the American people were in any threat of a nuclear attack from Iran or any of that. The only folks that may have been even mildly in danger are the people that are in that region, which 99.9% of Americans are not in the Middle East. I just think you're going to have far more people die if we put boots on the ground from this than anything that we've been complaining about that Iran has done over the last 47 years. It's going to be more people dying from this. If you was American at all, you would be able to spell, oh, you guys are talking to each other, stop the pursuit of other countries' wealth. And I think that has a lot to do with what we're doing, is going after resources in other countries. Travelman, good evening, welcome to the, I hit Sherbert, be right back. Got to check my favorite streamer. I mean, my second favorite streamer, Tim. Thank you.
Sorry.
Good evening, Sherbert.
I didn't think you'd bring me on.
Why not?
I mean, it's been a while unless I'm paying for it.
Oh my God. You sound like I'm a hoe.
No, you just talk to Handsome Conservative every single fucking day, and then leave off some of your more neglected people.
Handsome Conservative and straight talking some of my MAGA folks. I always make it clear I do give MAGA a little bit more preference because I have less MAGA. If I had as many MAGA as liberals, it would probably be equal out, but I don't have as many MAGA, so I do want to make sure the other side is represented.
I get it, but man, I'm just so tired of hearing these guys have the exact same opinion every day of, well, we'll see. You know, short-term pain, long-term gain. Just stop turning yourselves into pretzels when you clearly don't hold anything.
Well, at some point, it's not going to, I mean, how long, what is the designation for what is the definition of short-term pain? Because Trump was promising to do this shit in 24 hours and bring down groceries on day one. I mean, he's been in office almost a year and a half. At what point is it no longer short-term pain?
When it's a different person in office.
Damn. So we willing to endure this his whole term?
Oh yeah, because he's still going to keep making money off of all the deals. He's still going to win in the end, like you said. Trump's always winning.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have morals, sure, but I've got some, and I think what he's doing is pretty abhorrent.
MAGA is super happy. MAGA tells me he's the best president we've ever had.
Yeah. That also tells me that there are some very shitty fucking people I would never let my kids around if I had kids. I don't trust these people at all to even choose which sandwich to fucking eat, let alone on what world politics should do. Fuck these people. I'm so tired of this shit, Tim.
You sound like this girl I saw on TikTok who said, you know, I hate to say this, but I'm realizing some of my family members wouldn't even be safe knowing the location of Anne Frank. Like, I wouldn't even feel safe trusting them with the location of Anne Frank. So, so fuck these people. Huh? So just no love at all, huh?
No, they've given up all of their rights to be given the benefit of the doubt when they said that Renee Good was charging at them.
Yeah, I just read an article today that said that he's the guy who killed her formally will not be charged with anything. So I guess they cleared him.
Of course not.
Yeah.
You know, the drain the swamp, they just made the entire government even more of a fucking swamp. They've doubled, tripled, quadrupled this shit. And everyone's just going, but he does exactly what I want. Isn't he so cool making fun of our allies and making us way less safe so we can't make a deal?
Well, they don't believe. I think MAGA, for the most part, does not believe America has an ally. I mean, what country? Think about, other than Israel, and some MAGAs even torn about that, but other than Israel, who on earth does MAGA believe is an ally of the United States? I don't think they believe America has an ally.
Well, they're just going to tell you, well, they were never our ally to begin with.
Right. They don't believe any of NATO's on our side. They hate Canada. I mean, I don't think MAGA thinks America has any allies.
And yet somehow we're amazing and we can do everything ourselves, even though as soon as we put worldwide tariffs in, we start losing our manufacturing because we get raw materials from other places. But apparently that's too hard of a concept for these dipshits to fucking understand.
Yeah. But in the comments, I see Tony USC said the guy that can't tell the difference between a man and a woman. I tell you, I mean, you know, they always say the liberals call everybody racist, and racism is kind of losing any type of meaning because the liberals throw it around so much. It's the same with this man and a woman thing. You hear this so much that it's kind of just losing its value. Y'all can't tell what a woman is. Like, you hear this all the time.
So, Tim, do you like Bill Burr, the comedian?
Yes, a lot.
He's got a pretty famous joke of like how to win an argument and turn it back on him. And as soon as she starts saying, he's got a little dick, if I can just bob and weave all that shit, you already won the argument. As soon as they start just coming after us for stupid culture war shit, it's like telling them, like, hey, you can't have your truck so highly suspended. Like, fuck off. It's a choice. What? I don't understand why you guys care about every little fucking thing and you go, nah, land of the free. Nobody's ever been freer as you try and tell us how to live our lives.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, it is a lot of, obviously they're pro-life and things like that. I mean, I think it's biblical in their opinion. I'm not saying it really is because I don't know if anything about trans or even homosexuality is really in the Bible of any significance, but I think they believe it's biblical.
I believe anyone that still is a major Trump supporter is a Karen down to their cell, their core.
Damn.
These are the people that are going to complain about somebody else playing music that they don't like, other than just mind your own fucking business.
Speaking of playing music, I'm watching the news while I'm talking and holding these laps so I have a screen TV behind me, but I hear that Kid Rock got a visit from a military, what was it, a Cobra or not a Huey, a helicopter deviated from his course. So apparently the Army is like investigating, but you gotta assume Trump had them do that. But apparently they came and gave him a flyby at his house. Did you hear about this?
I have not, but that really wouldn't surprise me that they're willing to just waste even more money and coordination with our people that actually need to know how to do things right just to go do a celebrity flyby.
Yeah.
It's one thing when they go over the Rose Parade or the Super Bowl or something those are major events, but just, my house, wouldn't it be cool? Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
it's the same thing that they want another $200 billion to resupply when they didn't plan out how to do this properly, and they just sent off, I think, 900 Patriot missiles.
Well, I heard at least Lisa says money means nothing to them. I hear Patriots cost about $500,000 a piece. If they fire that many of them, maybe they got them cheaper, because if it costs that much for each one, $500,000, and you fired up, how many of them did you say?
Well, Tim, money doesn't matter until it comes to healthcare or mental health funding. Then, oh my God, you want me to pay for your schooling? How could you pick yourself up by the bootstraps until we want to shoot off?
Thank you, James.
$5 billion in a day of munitions.
So I would rather pay for tomahawks than give kids free lunch in schools, huh?
100%. Oh my God, that is the slogan to go on the next, look at what I did stickers down the pump.
Well, you make it almost sound like we elected evil.
Well, we 100% did, because the ones that really are still supporters of him are pretty racist and evil and shitty fucking people like Gen X, when he just supports all sorts of violence until you talk about Trump and then, no, not my daddy.
That sounds so innocent.
Give me a sandwich. I don't know how to cook. I'm such a little boy. That's why he's the Proud Boys.
Well, look, they believe that they're doing what's best by the nation or something of that nature. I don't know, but so in regards to what we're talking about here, because he's talking about taking out the desalination plant in Iran, so literally destroying their fresh water supply. Do you see that? Because me and my last caller, a handsome conservative, went back and forth. Do you see that as targeting civilians?
100%. There's literally no way around it, and that's why I call these people pretzels. When they don't want to, I don't really agree with that. It doesn't matter. The question is this going to hurt civilians, which it 100% will, especially in a desertous environment like that, where they don't just have the rainforest to collect their water in the tank. You're literally going to hurt their main supply of a necessary thing.
So,
Fuck off.
So what did she say? Power in water to the people. So what do you think the goal is? How you doing there, Mishi? I see you in the comments. What do you think the goal is of Iran? Go ahead. What'd you say?
We're doing the fucking Yarmulke playbook at this point. I don't want to get the live taken down. But
you're talking about the Third Reich.
Same thing
you're talking about the Third Reich. You're talking about the Third Reich.
No, I'm talking about Israel.
Oh, Yarmulke. Oh, okay. I'm thinking Yahtzee. Okay, Yarmulke. So you believe? Well, did Israel take it? Yeah, I guess they did do that.
They shut down the water and the power and all the supplies coming in, so they couldn't even get crackers in. People were eating bark because there was nothing left within the rebel city that they did. And we're just following the same thing. The same reason we got into this situation. And so, let's follow their playbook. Who gives a shit about the civilians? I'm mad at them for some reason.
What about look, the Middle East don't seem to be very unified. I mean, they don't have their version of NATO or anything like that, or Warsaw Pact, because you see what Israel did to Gaza, and the Middle East kind of idly stood by and let it happen. A few nations, Yemen and Syria to the north. Egypt didn't do anything, and Egypt has a turbulent history with Israel, and they didn't even do anything to help them other than taking in some refugees. If the focus on Iran is to make them similar to Gaza, where we're trying to literally bomb them to the Stone Age, is there any chance other Middle Eastern nations may sympathize? I mean, seeing Iranians starve to death, kind of, which is what happened to the folks in Gaza. Israel literally starved them to death. Is there any chance any other Middle Eastern nations help them out?
I don't know. Because honestly, I don't know much about the Middle East except for when these things come up, and then all of a sudden I have to get a pretty good, at least a decent background in what the fuck has been happening for a little bit, to then not just go, man, it must all be desert, huh? No,
well, that's just being in America. We have that mindset that we're the only country on earth that matters, and most Americans, including myself, we don't generally know a lot about other nations unless we're at war with them. Most Americans cannot name the prime minister, chancellor, or leader or dictator of most other countries unless they're on our enemies list or we're at war with them. That's about it. Like, we knew Tony Blair during the war in Iraq, but after Tony Blair, most Americans don't know who followed him up or anything. I mean, once we were no longer at war, and that's one of our number one allies. Same thing with Australia. Most Americans don't know who is the prime minister of Australia. I mean, we just don't know even our closest friends. Unless we're at war with you, we don't care about you.
We're just using the tactics because Trump is not a good strategic person. He can't even follow a sentence very well without going, well, aren't I awesome? And no one's ever heard about this before.
Ain't that what they said about...
He's going to follow their playbook because he has no plans of his own. And Keg's Breath was never in charge until recently. He was a fucking major, I think.
Is there any solid evidence that Pete Hegseth has been drinking while in office?
I mean, nobody has put a breathalyzer to him. But there is definitely press conferences where he's gripping that glass real tight. And where he had to take a sip in the middle of a sentence. Remember that?
Could it possibly have been sweet tea? I see Mishi says Signal Gate. Yeah. But is it possible it could have been sweet tea? Did he have to be drinking alcohol?
I mean, when you have that reputation, you lost the benefit of the doubt that it's sweet tea.
Yeah. So, something, I actually think that some of them folks are going to be trying to dodge war crimes trials. I really do. Because I keep bringing up the double tap in Venezuela. I don't see how that doesn't go down as a war crime. I just don't.
Oh, I can't wait for after the midterms. And Democrats are pissed. And we're actually going to go at this as fast as we possibly can. I'm really hoping we get the 3/4 majority so we can just go through everything at this point, because you can't just do war crimes. I can disagree with you on how to distribute money, but when you're double tapping people, we're going to come after you. Fuck off, Hegseth.
But what about the notion that the Democrats tried to impeach Trump twice, the 34 felonies, et cetera, and many say that backfired. leading to a lot of folks to be sympathetic to the plight of Trump giving him a second term. We're trying to impeach him a third time or trying to bring the other folks on the right up on criminal charges. Is it possible that could backfire on the left?
Maybe, but I think after the Epstein files were redacted and shown to not be one to put out by this administration, I've heard from a fair amount of MAGAs, ex-MAGAs, they're going, no, he's actually pretty fucking evil, right? So I don't think there's as much just blind loyalty. I mean, there's still blind loyalty.
I haven't heard any
ex-majority.
I haven't heard anybody that was formerly a Trump supporter suggest he's evil. And you got ex-MAGA that calls Trump evil?
Yeah, I've heard a couple. I mean, I think it was on this show, wasn't it?
Not that I know of. Evil? I know some MAGA don't. I know some ex-MAGA that are not happy that Trump. Well, Mishi is ex-MAGA. Okay, so that's one. Yeah, there is one. But I know there's some. I know there's some ex-MAGA that are not happy that Trump didn't meet his campaign promises. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene believes that he campaigned on America first, not all this international shit. But I don't think I've ever heard her call him evil, even though she was getting doxxed and people were threatening her house and sending pizzas. She called him for mercy, and she said he pretty much cussed her out. But she still hasn't said he's evil.
Tim, this is the perfect example of what's going on worldwide with our reputation. There's so many people that were our allies, and then exactly as strong as they possibly could be, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, being right up on Trump, and then all of a sudden, nah, you're public enemy number one. We can't do anything with you. It's like, why are you starting fights with people that we have to do business with you have to have Congress? And once we get these goddamn blind loyalists out, because people are so pissed off with how stupid everything is. And as you keep saying, grocery prices are coming down, gas prices are coming down, power prices are going to come down, insurance prices are going to come down, everything's going to come down. And it's been a year.
Well, I had straight talk on the program. He says that gas prices will come down in about 2 weeks.
I'm going to go with 2027, Tim, because they are never right about anything. The same way they weren't right about how the deficit was going to go. Trump's bill came in, and then it's matching exactly what the economists were saying. And Straight Talk's going, no, we won't add anything. Fuck you. Straight Talk's a piece of shit. He is one of your craziest ones. I mean, he's right up there with DJ Julio. No, actually, he's way worse.
Straight
He
Talk
might be your craziest one.
He's passionate MAGA. I got to move it on, but he's passionate MAGA. MAGA has their beliefs. The liberals have theirs. Sherbert.
One last word.
Sure.
Trump ain't shit.
I'll give it to you. All right, appreciate it. Moving on with the program, tap the screen. Get us up over the 100,000 hump, if you will. Let your thumbs not be lazy. Tap the screen, help your boy out. In the comments, we'll continue on. Amen. Straight Talk fucking sucks. Be nice to Straight Talk. Is this how they get their political science degree? I don't know what you mean by that, but the one and only Misha has joined us. Good evening, Misha.
What's going on?
Mishi, not Sha. Mishi.
You know what? It's not my real name. Don't care. Okay, so here's the thing. Is I want to know how my fellow Christian, well, not fellow, because I'm not really a practicing Christian, how you feel about him targeting power grids and water supply for civilians.
Yeah,
are you okay with taking away power and clean water?
Yeah, they are.
To people who've done nothing wrong, right? Yeah. So, yes, they have a bad regime, for sure. Like, no one's going to argue that the Ayatollah is not a bad person. We're not going to argue that Kim Jong-un is a bad leader. We're not going to argue that Putin is a bad leader. We have a lot of bad leaders in this world. Are we going to make the people of these countries who are under these horrible regimes suffer as a result? And if you are a true Christian, how can you square that away? How can you square taking away clean water and power from people?
I think the true Christian sentiment, the minute we got in there and started going gung-ho on deportations, that was over with. I mean, once you
Well, that's
started
fine.
showing no
They
mercy,
can go hungover. They can do that, but that's not taking away water from people.
to me it is. If you're sending people back to third world countries where they may not be able to get clean water, like deporting people to Haiti, yeah, to me that your Christian sentiment is gone the minute you start doing that. Just like he's talking about Cuba, for instance. He said all kinds of horrible things about how citizens and things like that are getting treated in Cuba. Yet the minute he took office, he started deporting people back to Cuba. So yeah, the Christian sentiment is gone the minute you started doing that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what Jesus would do. Jesus would be like, you know what, Trump, I'm going to get in your ear. Take away their clean water and their power and let them die. Because that's what I would want you to do.
Well, he did. He is on record, though, Mishi, saying, I'm not a Christian.
Okay, but he plays to the Christians. Yeah. He says he sells a Bible. He placates to them. I agree with you. He's not a Christian. Nothing he does represents Christianity, and I think he does more harm than good for true Christians. But I want to say this to the MAGA, who think that they own the liberals. So that's all you have is this some kind of, I owned you, we won, you lost. And I want to ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
Is it just liberal soldiers being sent to war?
Absolutely not.
Is it just liberals who are losing their health care?
Absolutely not.
Is it just liberals who are paying more at the gas pump for their energy cost, for their groceries and their goods?
Everyone is paying more for that stuff.
Okay, so I ask again, what did you win? What did you actually win besides bragging rights? Okay, I mean, yeah, you got the Gulf of America. That's exciting. You got the East Wing, knocked down. And, you got Trump's face, on some coins and his signature. But besides that, what did you actually win that you own the libs without owning yourself?
Well, Melissa K on YouTube states, we continue winning every day. She didn't say exactly what they're winning. But I'll tell you this. I do believe the owning the libs thing is pretty much what gives the energy. I think that the right has a connection to Trump so that, it's almost like your favorite sports team. I've mentioned this on many lives. I'm a Chicago Bears fan. When the Bears win, the response is, hey, we won last Sunday. Even though I didn't win anything, I got to go back to work. I didn't get any cheaper gas, but I feel a connection to the Bears that when they win, I feel like I've won. When they see Trump beating Democrats in court and things like that, they feel a connection that means they won too, even though it does nothing to alter their lives.
Well, I've never hid this. The reason why I voted for Trump in 2020 was that. It was the winning. It was the owning of the libs, because I was tired of them name calling me and saying all these things. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to prove you. I'm going to win. I'm going to win this time. And I'm going to win by making you lose. And by the way, I didn't win anything. I didn't win a thing. I just won
bragging rights.
Yay.
You won bragging rights.
I won Nana Boo Boo. I won a fifth grader wins a student council election. Okay. You did not win anything. The American people have lost. The respect for the United States has been completely lost because we have a man with zero decorum. Zero decorum.
There's a few victories. There's a few victories.
What's the victories, my friend?
The illegal immigrants, the people that they believe are a problem with this country, they're being addressed now. They believe that transgender, for instance, are a danger to their children. That's being addressed. They believe illegal immigrants are a danger to this country. That's being addressed. So there are some, like I said, that still doesn't affect their lives, but they do.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness, handsome. Thank goodness, because I'm sure every single day a transgender person who identifies as a certain way is impacting their life. When Republicans wake up in the morning and they go to bed, they're like, wow, thank goodness. Thank goodness Trump is coming after the 3 transgendered college athletes in the entire country, because that really impacts them. It impacts their daughters, their sons, their everyday life. They'll pay more for gas and food and health care as long as 3 transgendered women are no longer playing in sports. They're not swimming anymore because that really is the biggest issue facing our country.
I'm just saying they go with the social issues. That is a huge issue to them. Illegal immigrants and LGBTQ community. It means a
I
lot to
know.
them. DEI is another one. They believe that a lot of whites are being discriminated against. You hear that
They
one?
are. They are the white male men.
Yeah.
It's a really tough time for them. I actually don't even know how they get up every morning and make it through the day, handsome. It must be so difficult and hard out there when they walk amongst us. They are persecuted constantly for just living as YT males in this country. It's a tragedy, really, and I feel for them. I really, really do. It's got to be tough. It's got to be tough. So here's the thing: we actually elected a really old man, and when I see from old, like your grandparents and shit, like if you guys are my age, don't you see they long for the past, the good old days? Remember the good old days?
The Gilded Age. The Gilded Age.
The Gilded Age. The Gilded Age. Remember the good old days? Brr. Right. We're electing those people into office. Dude, the good old days were never good. Okay. This is the grass is always greener bullshit. But handsome liberal, I don't know about you, but I don't believe her. What don't you believe? I voted for Trump twice. I was a lifelong Republican. I worked on Bush's campaign. Why would I admit that I voted for Trump? Like, that's embarrassing. Like, that is
the reason that you're not.
And by the way, I am big enough that there would be friends of mine and community members that would come out and say, this woman's lying, but they know I'm not. My friends know I was a vocal Republican my entire life. So the reason why you don't see people coming for me is because I was authentically a Republican. So
And I will say when you say it, because some of my viewers may not know you, when you say I'm big enough, your selling ability is out of this world. I don't know how much shit you're selling on TikTok, but when I look to buy shit, your face is coming up. Like, damn, she's selling that too. You selling more stuff than the drug dealer at the corner. You selling like Pablo Escobar at this point. My God.
I'm having fun, and I don't know how you still do it because all that's left is like the conservative guy that's yapping his mouth in your comment section. Like, it's sad. Like, at this point, they're just a clown show. He ran on no regime changes. He ran on no wars. He ran on bringing your energy costs down in the first year and a half. They've actually gone up 6%. He said he's going to bring down the cost of your groceries. He said he's going to end the war in one day. He has promised new infrastructure in his first term. He promised you the best health care. He's promised. And you guys just keep playing the 2-week shit, and it never happens. Your Doge check never showed up. There was no fraud. No one's been arrested for fraud for Doge. All he's doing is simping for the billionaire class while our country is insolvent. He is spending money we don't have. And you guys just keep clapping like a seal. Like, it's actually, at this point, like, you guys are the biggest embarrassments I've ever seen. If you're still supporting a man who promised you everything and delivered nothing besides maybe deporting as many brown people as, and even then he deported less than Obama, so he's a failure there too. So, I mean, what has he really done?
Well, here's what I do understand it with me talking to MAGA all the time. I think you have two types of MAGA. You have some that voted for Trump because they like his policies. And then you have some MAGA that voted for Trump because they like Trump. The people who voted for Trump because of the policies, like the Marjorie Taylor Greene, some of them are now unhappy because you're right, he's not delivering on what he campaigned. People who voted for Trump, the man, it really don't matter what he does. They're going to ride with, there's a lot of people that voted for Trump, so no matter what he does, I'm riding with him. I just believe he knows maybe it's God ordained him, or I believe that he is just the best vision America has ever had. So it doesn't matter if he changes his mind. I believe whatever he's doing is going to turn out right. Them folks are still happy.
Yeah, he's right. They're right. I mean, he really is the best for America. He's taking $10 billion of your money and spending it on hotels in Gaza. Like, I mean, there's nothing more America first than taking money from the American people to build hotels on the graves of dead women and children.
Ooh.
There's nothing more American than the president actually suing the American people, the IRS, as a billionaire for $10 billion. There's nothing more American than spending our money that we don't have. And now they're actually forcing, because this war, this unnecessary war, because they were not an imminent threat, we are actually going to have to take away more health care from Americans, okay? So, yeah, there's nothing more America first than taking away health care from Americans, food from children, so that we can do a proxy war that's unnecessary, that posed no danger to Americans.
I gotta push back and ask, how did you vote for Trump? Because all of the stuff you're saying, it ain't like Trump ever promised to give Americans health care. Well, he did.
Yes, he did.
He did do that. The right has never promised to give Americans health care, but Trump did talk about repealing and replacing.
Trump in his first term said, I'm going to give you the best health care you've ever had, okay? And so 4 years, no health care. He promised the infrastructure. He didn't deliver on that. Joe Biden delivered on that. He promised Mexico was going to build the wall. Mexico didn't pay for shit. He promised that he was going to lock Hillary up. He didn't do that either. So he promised in his first term and delivered nothing. He's doing the same thing again, and they actually got sold another lemon. They got sold another car that when they drive it off the lot, it fails. So this is what they're doing over and over. And when he knows he's losing them, he throws something out like you're not going to pay taxes next year. I'm going to send you a $2,000 check. He just throws out, like, by the way, 6 years in, where is the evidence of election fraud? It doesn't exist. He keeps telling you it's going to be in the truckloads. It still doesn't exist. He promises like a used car salesman, and you guys keep eating it up. At some point, you have to question, you would not allow somebody in your own personal life to behave the way that Donald Trump does. You wouldn't.
Well, the election fraud thing, I've been talking to MAGA about that ever since it happened back in 2020. And they believe that they've seen enough to indicate that Biden cheated. I don't, look, I've had a million conversations with them. They believe they've already seen enough evidence.
Where is it?
They go, well, 20 million votes were missing, or they got, I haven't seen the evidence, but they believe they've presented the evidence.
They did. And so when Donald Trump was in office and he was the one, and the Republicans held the office, they actually owned the Congress, that's when we were able to cheat. Now flip it around. When Joe Biden was in office, we weren't allowed to cheat. Like, it makes no sense because they're the party of common sense. It makes absolutely zero sense. But whatever, they're gonna flip around, but they're losing. And they're losing. They're losing.
Are they really? Let me ask you this way: do you think the midterms will go typically like a normal election? I mean, because the analysts predict the Democrats are going to really trounce the huge blue wave. But with Trump suggesting that ICE will be at polling places, you hear about the Save America. Do you believe this election come November will be a normal election?
Well, yes, the SAVE Act won't be a part of the midterms. Okay, so the SAVE Act won't even be impacted. The SAVE Act, even if passed, which it shouldn't because it's a voter suppression law, it is government overreach. It is the federal government going into states and telling them actually, which is, by the way, as somebody who was a lifelong Republican,
states' rights.
As somebody who was a lifelong Republican, I like small government. Okay, so for me, I still like small government. I want my money spent well, and I don't believe the federal government should be telling states what they can and cannot do. Okay. So that, and by the way, it's a poll tax. I don't think it's going to pass, but even if it did, it wouldn't impact the midterms.
How do you respond to folks who say
ICE being present? You want to say to ICE, okay, I'm going to show up at the polls. You're not going to stop me from voting. They can go ahead and hang out as much as they want. I think it'll actually empower more people to show up, because what are they going to do?
Well, they could fuck with you. They could scare people.
Sure. Go ahead. Let them fuck with me.
Well, that's you though, Mishi. Some people are not that brave.
Yeah, okay, I disagree. What are they going to do? When we show up in numbers to vote, what are they going to do? She ain't no damn Republican. Cedric's mad. See, this is what happens. This is what happens with them. I'm going to tell you why I was a Republican, okay? These are the things that I believed in as a Republican. I believed in small government. So what this administration is doing, telling military men and women that they can't attend elite universities like Harvard and Yale, that is big government taking over. You should not be able to tell people where they can and cannot go to college, okay? So I have a big problem with that. I have a big problem with big government telling states how they can run their elections, okay? I am for military spending, for sure. I do believe we need to keep our military supremacy. I mean, I think we spend a little bit too much, honestly, as I've grown in my messaging, but or in my thought process. But those are the main staples why I was a Republican. So, I mean, I don't know what you guys think a Republican is or isn't, but it's for small government.
Well, you got some haters out there, obviously.
Oh, I got flagged. You just dropped me.
That's what happens.
All right, love you, friend.
All right, appreciate it.
The truth hurts, my friend. Love you.
Yeah, anytime. Appreciate that, Mishi. Thanks for coming by. Mishi is really big, as she stated. She's listen, I think I do my thing on the internet, but she's bigger. Anyway, tap the screen and get the likes up to 110,000, if you will. Continuing on with the program. Mishi came by to visit us. I feel special. She got flagged because somebody in the comments were hating big time. What's happening in Georgia, Bimbo? What is happening in Georgia? Huh? Yeah, but at least he's trying. Biden did. Why does Biden keep coming up? Is there some Biden derangement syndrome floating around? Biden and Obama, particularly Obama too. Why they keep coming up? They're gone. Okay, if Trump was put in because Biden allegedly wasn't doing a good job, or allegedly had dementia, or allegedly this or that. He's gone now. Why does anytime Trump fucks up, why does Biden keep coming back up? I mean, he's gone now. You're bashing somebody that's no longer with us. He's not in office anymore. I don't know why they keep bashing Biden. Let me go back to the box, though. No clue why his name keeps coming up. Sexy Red, good evening.
So Mexico did pay for border protection and stuff under Biden. Biden got Mexico to pay
for the wall.
Yeah,
I've heard that.
Sleepy Joe did that. Okay, I'd rather have Sleepy Joe right now than what the hell we're living in now, because now they're cutting more Medicaid from people. They're cutting more Medicare from people because of what? Going and putting boom booms.
How do you respond to folks who suggest, though, that under Biden, the border was wide open, they were letting people in, and that had to be stopped?
Shut the fuck up about the border. The border's wide open like Melania and Trump's legs. You can't even fill the fucking walls, man. So stop this shit. Name me 3 things as why the border is secure right now. Because numbers don't lie. All his numbers are down. That means the border is open. The border's never been closed. It's never been secure like you guys think it has. It has been secure under Biden because Biden has more deportations.
You believe? Wait. You believe right now? What the hell? You believe right now under Trump?
More encounters.
No.
More encounters. See, that's why. This is why I know you're not a liberal, because you're too stupid. Muppet, you're too stupid. You like to be on a white man's lap. Yes, Daddy.
What does this got to do with race?
Because I can't. Because you're over here saying I like some of what Trump did.
No, I'm about to ask you. I'm about to ask you a simple question. Are you saying that under Trump the border is just as wide open as it was under Biden?
Yes, but actually it's less secure now than it is under Biden, because Biden had more encounters. Biden had more deportations. Then at the border, now it's less. What does that tell you, you dumb nut?
I don't think anybody believes that.
Fucking quiet. It is the truth. You know what? People don't have to believe shit. It's the damn truth. It's the facts, Pookie and Ray Ray.
Trump.
It's the facts.
Trump has literally banned every third world country from coming here.
I know you like his cock a lot. It doesn't taste good though.
What is?
Does his cock taste good? Because you're like on his lap. Yes, daddy. Yes, daddy. You're not blue at all. I swear to God, you're like undercover maggot on God. You really are. Because you over here saying, well, the border's not secure.
So if I give Trump credit for securing the border or for doing anything, that makes me MAGA?
What? Yeah, it is. It does, because he's not doing nothing. Like, this is why we have to fight misinformation, and even with you, numbnut. We got to fight with you, because you're like a little puppet. You're like a little puppet. You know what I mean? His numbers are lower than Biden. Biden. You feel what I'm saying? Biden. Biden. Okay? Okay, Sleepy Joe was doing the damn thing. He got more people out and had more encounters out. You feel what I'm saying?
Well,
yes.
I do have to ask, if Sleepy Joe was doing so much, why did I guess it happened under Kamala Harris, but the minority vote dropped, blacks in numbers voted less for, I guess it's all Kamala Harris.
The black people thought they was going to get another PPE loan. You know what I mean? Oh, my God. The white man's going to give us a check. The white man may give us a check.
So they voted for... Wait.
The house ninjas.
You're telling me black people voted for Trump because they thought Trump was going to get them free shit?
Yeah.
I ain't never heard nothing like that. That's the first I've ever heard a Republican's going to...
Because you're a bag of dum-dum. You probably believe the black maggots. I give them hell too. They sellouts. They the ratty raccoons too. They swear up and down. He's gonna give us a check. We're gonna wait for that check. He's gonna get all this dog's check. He's gonna get all this. Where's it at though? I'm waiting. Where's it at?
Well, it hasn't arrived.
But what they didn't realize and how dumb they was, the blue gave them the stimulus checks. The blue did. Not the Republicans. The blue gave them stimmy checks when it was COVID. Because the Republicans was fighting them. They didn't want to give them stimmy checks. They liked the long lines at the food banks. Yeah, people forgot about that, did they not?
Michael from the Midwest on YouTube says you are possessed and prejudiced.
You know what? I have no filter, and I don't give a fuck. I have no filter. I tell it like it is. I don't kiss the ass like you, Tim. I don't sit on a white man's lap and say, "Hey, baby, give it to me, daddy. Give it to me. Fuck me in the ass without a lube." But you know what I mean?
What the fuck?
That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. You know what I mean? That is what you're doing. You a house ninja. Let's keep it a buck. You an undercover house ninja. Yes, master. Get the whips.
No, I think it's that you want a 24-hour bash Trump channel, and that
it's not. It's a thing that you need to step up and be a fucking black man instead of drinking the bleach and drinking the cum out their mouth and gargling.
It should not surprise you that the app took Gangsta Grandma down. That shouldn't surprise you, but they took her down as suggesting that I drink cum and bleach. And oh my God, she followed Mishi. Wow. Anyway, tap the screen. God damn. Okay, no more cum in bleach drinking. Let's continue on with the show. Told you she's an idiot, says Connie. She comes hard. She doesn't have a level 1. She comes on 10. She just wakes up on 10. Bro, you got the patience of a saint, says Cam Christian. Listen, we try to run a respectable program, but sometimes, folks, we don't believe in censorship. I do believe in letting the people speak. You can be critical of the host. It's kind of like that. So, unfortunately, I do get hammered that way, which is why I say support the goddamn program with a few hats and mustaches and TikTok caps. I'm taking a beating for your entertainment. Anyway, looking in the comments, real quick before I miss, MAGA folks can't accept that Trump is a big joke and a clown, says, well, they say that about Biden. I don't know. The sheriff right now is fighting to count the votes in California, and the government is telling them he can't. Count votes for what? You have to be in a cult to believe there's voter fraud with 40 cases in 24 years. All were caught. I don't look in regards to that, and I think Mishi brought that up. I do not understand why MAGA still has a strong belief that there was fraud in the 2020 election. There's so many things that make no sense, such as why is there no member of his who on Trump's administration said he won in 2020? I mean, we know Omarosa didn't say that. Ben Carson didn't say he won. Mike Pence, Attorney General. How many? I mean, most of his administration says he lost in 2020. How many Republican senators back then said he won? I don't know of any. I don't know. Did Ted Cruz or Lindsey Graham, who is normally on his side, I don't think any of them said he won in 2020. Same thing with the Republican Congress. I guess Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, and maybe Bobart. Maybe those three. But other than that, the entire Republican Congress said he lost. Of course, there are all of those court cases that he lost. I guess we want to suggest they were all activists or liberal judges. I mean, to believe President Trump won the 2020 election, you got to dismiss and remove the credibility from a lot of very credible folks to make that happen. I don't think any of the Republican governors that were in some of those states he lost said he won. Like Governor Kemp in Georgia, that guy said he lost. To make Trump a victor, you got to take Trump's word over a lot of folks that have credibility. So, and not to mention all of the courts, you got to say the courts got it wrong. All of them got it wrong. He, who has no access to any polling places, said he won. How do you know that was cheating? You weren't out there at the polling places. We're taking his word over people who actively was involved in recounts, audits, taking ballots. We're taking his word over people who were actually on the ground doing all that stuff. I don't understand how he's able to say something and he has more credibility than the people who were actually doing it. Not to mention, I still to this day have no legitimate reason being given for why all of these people would have lied. People who would have served a second term. People who were on his administration. Why would they lie and say he lost? Mike Pence was his running mate. Mike Pence would have served the whole second term. Why would he lie and say Trump lost? So, and then of course, as what Mishi was pointing out, the Democrats stole the election when Trump was in charge. But when Obama was in charge, Trump was able to win. When Biden was in charge, Trump was able to win. They were only able to steal it when he was in charge. And that actually makes sense to people. I don't, if the Democrats had the ability to steal the election while Trump was president, they damn sure would have done it when Biden was president. None of that stuff makes any sense at all. I never could understand how all he had to do was say it was stolen and nobody else's word meant anything. This is why I suggest that nothing in the Epstein files would matter in the eyes of MAGA. Nothing. If Trump is telling you he did not do something wrong, there is nobody that can tell MAGA he's guilty and they'll believe that person. That's why I always ask the question, let's say Trump actually committed a crime. Let's just fictionally pretend like he actually did something. Who could tell MAGA and they would actually believe it? If he's saying he's innocent, MAGA's not going to believe anybody over him. The 2020 election is the best evidence of that you can get. So if something comes out of the Epstein files, I don't care if it's a video of him banging a child. If he says, if he takes the Shaggy route, it wasn't me. It's AI. I don't know how they did it. They must have created some kind of fake image of me. If he says it ain't him, there's nobody within the likes of MAGA that's going to believe that that's him. So it doesn't matter what comes out of the Epstein files. As long as he says I didn't do it, he didn't do it. Bitch, you got the softest hands in the lobby, says Walter. I don't know what that means or why that's coming up. Please do your research on who to vote and support. Even Democrat Biden sucked. Trump sucks. Kamala wasn't the best, but she was better than Trump. Well, she's gone. What you're talking about is what I meant by orange zombie syndrome. Too damn emotional. She has no idea what the fuck she's talking about. Why the fuck are we listening to her? You talking about my last guest? Let me go back to the box. Get us up to 125, if you will. Tap the screen. We'll go straight to Travelman in the bullpen. Good evening, Travelman.
What's going on, Tim?
I don't know, man. Targeting civilians. Is it possible we're doing that?
Well, I don't think on purpose, So, but you can bet cash money up under that rubble. There are civilians. I mean, when you're doing that level of destruction, it's kind of hard not to have some civilians on there. Matter of fact, they showed a lady she was talking about. My daughter is under that rubble. So, yeah. I mean, we're not doing it on purpose.
Well, what about Trump suggesting that if they don't come around, he's going to target their power plants and their desalination? So he's talking about cutting off fresh water to the Iranian people.
Yeah, well, you elect a shithead, you get shithead behavior, So basically, under the Geneva Convention,
it's a war crime.
And the other one too, even though we don't recognize the ICC, but just in general, I guess that would be considered like a crime against humanity. The reason being is because you hit their water and desalinization plants, then you affecting the people's livelihood and them being able to live.
Yeah, that's absolutely not a military target. What's providing the country with fresh water? That's not military. That's deliberate.
Not at all. And then also, let's not forget now, because I tell you, man, the Mango Maniac, he loved throwing these threats out. He loved throwing them out. And Iran pretty much came back and said, okay, if you hit our civilian infrastructure,
they gonna do it to neighboring countries. Yeah,
we're going. Not only that, they are going to hit the desalinization plants. And once the whole, all the Gulf states, Saudi, all of them, those desalinization plants, that's their lifeline.
Yeah. And here's what I think it was maybe the handsome conservative. One of my right-wing guests views Iran as wrong for what they're doing to their neighbors. And my argument is, if you're going to allow the United States to take off from your country's runways and come to my country and bomb my desalination plant so that my people don't have fresh water, you're just as much of an enemy as America is. I mean, you're allowing them to come to our country because they want to be close. They don't want to have to fly all the way from the United States, so they saving on gas. You're giving them permission to take off from your nation and come bomb our nations, and this is what they're doing. You qualify as just as much of an enemy as they do. And I don't understand why people don't see that. They're looking at Iran as being wrong for striking its neighbors that are allowing the U.S. to do this stuff from their countries.
What do I say to Tim? There's this disease going on, so you know what I'm getting ready to say. Okay, they got that head up Trump's ass syndrome going on. They need to be immediately taken down to the ER and get the spinal extraction.
Oh my God!
Spinal muscle extraction procedure, and that might help them out before the election. If another country is allowing you to use their resources, then you become a target.
Yeah. And I use Cuba as an example. If Cuba allowed ISIS to put a base on their country, on their island country, and they were launching attacks on Florida from that base, you're going to tell me America would only attack the base in Cuba? The Cuban people, the Cuban government would not be in danger at all from America. We would attack that whole fucking country. So yeah, I don't get why they don't see that with Iran.
Because they're listening to the Mango Maniac, their leader, and everything he says, they twist themselves into pretzels, trying to translate what he's saying, even though he's supposed to have this really big brain, which is why they went in there without any kind of strategic planning or anything going on. So basically what happened, because damn near the whole Middle East, at least all the Gulf states, are pretty much jacked up because Iran has hit the infrastructure in each one of those countries. So even once this thing is done, it's going to still take time for us, depending on the amount of damage that was done to the to the oil infrastructure, because that's also what they hit. Depending on that, then that'll determine how much they can put replace the barrels that's taken out of commission right now. And so that means the price is going to stay up for a minute.
Well, I had Straight Talk on earlier in the program. He's adamant the price of fuel will come back down to normal levels in about 2 weeks.
Straight Talk said that?
Yep.
That's straight. That's straight bullshit is what it is. Okay.
He said 2 weeks to a month at most.
Yeah, that's straight bullshit. That's some ass jackery going on right there, or jackassery, or whatever you want to call it. You know, all this stuff. Dude, I was on there earlier. I had like five MAGAs attacking me earlier today. You know, but you know me. You know, I come prepared anyway. But we have stepped off into it. We have stepped into this thing. How do we get out of it? It's a no-win. One of the generals I was reading said that we are basically now, and we're not in a win-win. He said basically we're in a no-win or maybe even a tie situation. But he said it's not a win coming out of this. This is how jacked up it is.
Well, I hate to disagree with a general. I suppose we could win, but we'd have to be willing to take thousands of casualties to get that victory. I mean, we could end up, I guess, taking over Iran, but we got to be willing to take thousands of casualties in the beginning and continue taking casualties while it's occupied.
You know, come on, Tim. I understand what you're saying, and now you're talking about an extended.
Yeah.
Extended war.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, it's going to be for years long. That's what I said, thousands of casualties.
Yeah, you're talking about going into a country with 90 million people. That is also, how big is it land-wise?
Double the size of Texas. Double the size of Texas.
It's huge. And then on top of that, they love to fight. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's not forget now, them and what's the name? Them and Iraq were going at it for 8 years.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a meat grinder. They was pretty much just throwing bodies at each other. You know, and they didn't give up. And they do not give up. They've been around for centuries and centuries and centuries, millennium. Let's go back. They've been around for millenniums, and they're not going to give up. You know, in order for us to go into this is you saying Iran, man. You're talking about 500,000 troops. You know, and even just to what's that? What is it? You know, they run around here talking about, oh yeah, we're gonna take Korg Island. Really?
Yeah, but real quick, just to say, I get the sheer number and the resilience of the Iranian people, but if he starts taking out salination plants, I mean, you can really weaken the people. I mean, if they're starving to death and shit like that, can they really put up a fight? I mean, if you like what happened in Gaza, if you weaken them to that level, can they really put up a fight?
Yeah, but okay, but let's say he does that, and then let's say Iran is able to get some of their drones off, and they hit the desalination plant in Dubai, which means they gotta evacuate that. They gotta evacuate Dubai.
Do you think America cares about the countries that neighbor Iran? Really? Do you think? No, I mean, we wouldn't care as long as Trump gets what he wants out of Iran. He wouldn't care if Iran destroyed every country around them.
I agree 100%. But you're saying, if we went in and did that to the Iranians, and what I'm saying is that yes, okay, that can happen. But then while that's going on, they're also launching drones, which they seem to be pretty adept at, launching drones into Saudi Arabia or into UAE. Fajara, you ever heard of Fajara?
Yeah, I don't think, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think Trump cares about the damage. So yeah, they can launch all they want into Saudi Arabia and the UAE. I don't think Trump gives a damn about those countries.
I agree, but this is the collateral damage that's going to come from it. You know, so he don't give a damn.
No,
but think about this though. He may not give a damn, but what if he hit Saudi Arabia? And Saudi Arabia, not him. I mean Iran. And Saudi Arabia gets 70% of their drinking water through desalinization.
I'm not arguing with the.
Hold on a minute. So if Iran does that, there's no oil being pumped because they'll have to evacuate the largest cities in Saudi Arabia because they don't have any water. So now you just probably threw the whole freaking world into a recession because there's no oil coming out of the Middle East.
Now he does care about that.
Exactly.
He does care about that. That's different.
Not only oil.
That's
not
different.
Only oil. What about the fertilizer and stuff that's coming? That actually we're not getting too much of it now.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, dude. We have an ass wipe in the office right now. He's a freaking ass wipe. You know what I'm saying?
He's getting.
You know, and this is another thing too, Tim. Because of him, you're starting to see this. It's like an arrogance. You know, when I hear these MAGA jackasses talking, oh yo, well, we don't need Canada. We don't. I heard someone talking about that. Well, you know, we protect NATO. We don't need NATO, and you know this that. This is just the sheer arrogance of it. You know, because these people can't be. Well, they got head up Trump's ass syndrome, so they are operating with a cranial defect. So basically, what you have is, and these people they fail to realize, like the European Union, those countries have their own defense industries, right? You guys, I think what is it? Sweden makes some nice jets.
Yes.
Finland make nice jets. I mean, they got their own defense industries and stuff. Ukraine is all off in Russia's ass right now, and that's in spite of what we've done because we haven't provided any support to them.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
In almost a year, you know. So, but now they're pushing Russia back. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's so much jackassery going on around here, man. It's a damn shame, bro. I don't know what to say, man.
Well, I'm telling you,
I don't know what to say.
MAGA is overwhelmingly happy about what Trump is doing. They believe that Iran had this coming for 47 years. They really support what's going on.
So let me ask you this. How do we get out of this? Because, and I say this, and I ask you this because if we put boots on the ground, you might, and I wrote this in the chat earlier, if we put boots on the ground, you might as well call the body bag manufacturer and tell them to bring on another ship because it's going to be a lot of dignified transfers taking place at Dover. So how do we get out of this? Because we can't do it all just through air.
No, you can't. You can't because we keep going back to the example. I think you were the one that brought up, which is the invasion of Normandy, where we literally bombed the beaches of Normandy by air. They didn't have any German aircraft in the air at all. Same thing with the naval. There was no German Navy out there. We bombed the shit out of that. And when we stormed that beach, it was still plenty of dug-in Germans that killed a lot of Allied forces coming up there. So the idea that you're going to just bomb Carg Island and soften it up and then walk up on it like it's a breeze. No, the people were the same thing with Iwo Jima and Okinawa. They bombed all of them places. They bombed all of them places first. And when they got on there, people were waiting, dug in, and killed a lot of people still. So I think Vietnam is probably another one. There was no Vietnam Air Force of any significance, and they still were able to come up out of the ground and kill a lot of people. So you're not going to bomb. Yeah, you're not going to soften Carg Island by just bombing it from the air and then think you can just walk on it. That's not going to happen. But how do you get out of it? It's just going to have to be one of those deals where we just call it a draw. I mean, we've already killed, you got somewhat of the regime change. You didn't get to control who was put in. You killed all of the Ayatollah. You set back their nuclear program. And you just got to get to the point where you call it a draw. As long as they open up the Strait of Hormuz, you're going to have to leave it at that. But you're going to be dealing with Iranian sympathizers committing acts of terror probably for damn near the rest of our fucking lives. I mean, because you killed so many people. That's probably at least 10, 15, 20 years of that. It's fortunately only small events with minimal casualties, but you're probably going to be dealing with Iranian sympathizers for quite a while. But if you can just call it a draw, that's probably the best way to get out of that.
Yeah, but see, this is the problem with that, Tim. Is that number one, the world gonna know we did not meet the objectives that we went in there for. So the stature, even though our stature now is probably the lowest it's been since, I can't even remember. It's real low right now. Our stature in the world is real low. And also, the status and the usage and then of the petrodollar is in danger right now.
Yeah.
Well, if they start trading oil, and Saudi Arabia, which is supposed to be our quote unquote ally, has already did purchases and stuff in other currencies besides the U.S. dollar. So we could possibly end up doing some serious damage to the petrodollar, which is in use, throughout the world.
There's no way around that. Like I said, just like when I suggested calling it a draw, but still admitted you're going to be taking casualties from Iranian sympathizers in terrorist acts. In terms of our standing in the world, you're going to be taking casualties in that for a long time too. The relationship where Trump came to power and told the whole world collectively, none of y'all are shit. Fuck all of you. I don't know how you clear that up for at least a decade or two. It's going to take a lot of apologizing and new leadership. As long as Trump is still in power, that ain't going nowhere. I mean, you sided with Russia, you sided with the dictators of Hungary and all of this shit, and you've pretty much told all of our allies, you're not an ally. Here's a tariff to take your ass out of here. We don't give a fuck about you. So I don't know how you correct that for at least probably. I mean, first of all, you need a new administration that's going to go out of their way to apologize and make it up. That's to start. You need that to at least start helping those relationships out. But time, it's going to be time.
Thing. I know you got to get up out of it. One more thing, though.
Sure.
Part of the problem also is that we do not have any professional diplomats involved in these negotiations, either talking with Iran and also talking to Russia. We got a freaking real estate developer and a half-ass Nepo baby over there negotiating on our behalf. And the professional diplomats are taking their ass to the cleaners. And so they don't even know what they're doing.
But that's why I stated you're not going to get any of that stuff you're talking about by a new administration. Is like step one. Without that, it's going to stay the way it is. I mean, our allies are going to be questioning us because we're getting involved with countries that they don't believe we should. We're threatening to take Greenland and shit. It's a new administration would at least allow them to be willing to listen to us. But I just think under Trump, you're not going to get any movement.
It's going to take a couple of administrations. But by the way, King Fan, I agree with you. The only thing I disagree with is if we took Trump and his family and dropped their ass in the desert, they would probably kick their ass back across the Atlantic Ocean and back into the United States.
They would kill him. They would kill him. They would kill him.
But yeah, we have pretty much pissed everybody off and then say, oh, by the way, you need to come help us.
Yeah.
And they told us to pack sand.
Yeah. And like I said, there's no way to undo all of that as long as Trump is in office. So
we did some serious damage, man. Serious damage, Tim.
Still got a couple more years to go. Travelman, thanks for coming through.
All right, man. Take care.
Always appreciate it. And real quick, just to reiterate that point, I don't think that we're going to be able to improve our standing in the world while Trump is in office. Even if you think Trump is doing everything right, maybe you don't think that our standing needs to be improved. Maybe you think that NATO is shit and we need to get out of NATO, get rid of the UN and get out of all of those things. Fair enough, but we're not making friends under Trump. We're not making friends with any nation under Trump. So, America first is very similar to America alone. The Trump administration and my beloved MAGA, by the way, smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube and certainly on TikTok. But my beloved MAGA, they do tend to believe that we don't have any friends. It's kind of a fuck everybody approach. When Trump got elected, the tariffs were imposed because every country on earth was ripping us off. We need to get out of NATO because every country in NATO is ripping us off. I mean, they believe that America stands alone. I don't think when you ask MAGA, give us a country that's our allies. They have a difficult time answering that. I don't think MAGA believes, other than Israel, and once again, as I stated, some MAGA don't believe Israel's an ally either. You know, the Megyn Kellys and Tucker Carlsons, they don't believe, Nick Fuentes, they don't believe Israel's an ally. So MAGA believes that the whole world is either an enemy or somebody that is of no concern. I can't think, they don't think Canada's an ally. They don't think Mexico's an ally. They don't think NATO's an ally. They don't think, I don't know of any country that MAGA believes is a true ally to America. So, and I see in the comments, Nurse something says they think Russia is our ally. There is some MAGA that believes Russia isn't. Yeah, they were talking about, you know, Putin would be better to run the country than Biden and things like that. Why, I don't know, other than Trump has spoken favorably of Putin, which just shows the genuine power of President Trump. Because we didn't like Russia, and I'm a Gen Xer. We grew up as kids believing that Russia was a stark enemy of ours. Some of you folks even remember getting under the desk, pretending like somehow, some way that would save you from a nuclear attack. I don't know what your little desk in school would have done, but getting under desk and practicing drills. Now they practicing drills from, you know, we used to have drills in school of what to do if we were attacked by Russia. Now they have drills in school of what to do if you're attacked by your neighbors, other Americans. So now they're doing different drills in school. They're not expecting the Russians to come in there. They're expecting Billy from down the street or John from in second grade. But no, we've been taught our entire lives that Russia was our enemies. Trump came along and suddenly MAGA was like, you know, they ain't that bad. Like, your whole life you've been taught this country was an enemy. This one dude pops up and suddenly you're like, you know, he actually would be better to run the country than Biden would be. Just shows you the genuine power of President Trump, the power of persuasion. Because a lot of the same folks that voted for Trump voted for George W., voted for George H.W., some voted for Ronald Reagan. If you go back far enough, some of them even voted for Reagan. And all of a sudden, Trump, all of them other ones, the Bushes, the Reagans, the McCains they voted for, the Romneys they voted for in the election to become the Republican nominee, all of them believe that Russia was an enemy. Trump comes along and says, you know, he ain't that bad. And boom, like that, MAGA's looking at Russia more favorably. Based on nothing but Trump saying that maybe Putin is not that bad. That shows how much power Trump has, is that he's been able to convince some MAGA that everything they've encountered their whole lives is wrong and what he is saying is right. I really wish I could have that kind of power. I cannot imagine anybody. I mean, that is a significant amount of power that he can get in there and say stuff and change your mind from how you've thought all of your life. And don't have to show you any evidence or proof or anything for why you should think this way. And people run with it. Can you imagine how much power that is? Anyway, looking in the comments, stop your goddamn lying, says, I can't see the name there, but I had to put my glasses on. Stars, Shay, I think that's Shay, female, says, stop your goddamn. No, wait a minute. Where did the comment go? I wanted to read that. Oh, shit, it moved on. Anyway, well, I'll go to Shay. Shay says, you are full of shit and I hate you. MFS, don't know what those acronyms mean. MFS, that's all you do. Okay, he's talking to somebody else. That's all you do is look for reasons to hate this man. Obama and Biden did nothing for your stupid ass or for America. They all got richer. Trump didn't want to take. You believe that, Shay? You believe that Trump and Obama got rich? I mean, better yet, you believe that Biden and Obama got rich, but Trump is not on the take? You should be a comedian saying some shit like that. If you said that, wow, I don't even know where to go with that. You believe that Obama and Biden were on the take and getting paid from the office, but Trump is not? Selling Teslas on the White House lawn. He was given a jet by Qatar that's probably more than the worth of the Obamas Both of them combined, Michelle and Barack Obama, probably are not as, they probably aren't even worth as much as that jet, $400 million jet. I don't think the Obamas are worth $400 million. He got a jet from Qatar with no strings attached. You see Obama and Biden on the take, not Trump. NFT cards, selling gym shoes and Bibles and watches and wow. Like I said, to have that much power is amazing. For somebody to make a statement like that, I think it's his own cryptocurrency. You don't think that man is making money? You didn't think a salary. You don't think that guy is making money off the office? Jesus Christ. His kids have made more money than the Obamas did. His children have made more money than Obama's. That just, I don't even know where to go with that. You got to give him credit. He isn't accepting salary for it. Yeah, $400K a year, right? He ain't accepting the salary, but I don't know where to go with that. Oh, no, baby, Obama got filthy rich leaving the presidency. It wasn't for America. He got filthy rich. He was the richest president leaving office. Let that sink in. You think Obama left office wealthier than George Bush? Wealthier than the Kennedy? Well, Kennedy left office the worst way you could possibly leave, but Obama ain't that fucking rich. Where are you getting this from? You really think the Obamas are worth that kind of money? Okay, I'd like to know how they accumulated it. I mean, I could ask Alexa, how much is Barack Obama worth?
Barack Obama's net worth is estimated at $70 million.
You got basketball players that are worth more than that. Now, Alexa could be wrong, but I don't think she's that fucking wrong. Obama?
I'm not sure who
Alexa,
she's
stop.
referring to or what
Alexa,
topic you're
stop.
talking about.
This bitch won't stop talking. Anyway, Alexa, stop. I'll just say this. I don't know. $70 million, and you trying to tell me that he left the richest person. Yeah, 70 million is rich enough to retire. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene left with 25 million, and she's just a congresswoman. That's enough to retire. So 70 million. Yeah, to put Barack Obama's gain of wealth in as president in Trump's, it's not even in the same orbit, not even the same universe. Obama didn't make no. I mean, the 70 million that Obama is allegedly worth, a lot of that from book deals and speaking engagements. He probably out of office with 15, 20 million less than he has now. Like I said, I don't even, to have somebody suggest that Obama left richer than Trump, I don't even know what to do with that. Anyway, let me go back to the box and continue the program, because their goal is to not be a Bill Gates. They just want a couple mil. What kind of rich people have that kind of goal? I'm not trying to be Bill Gates. I only want a couple mil. Is that how wealthy people talk? I don't know. I mean, if wealthy people talk like that, we would have a lot less greed in the world. That doesn't make sense. But Shay responds again by saying, man, shut up. Just shut up. Just go back to doing what you do best. See what you can find negative on the white man, goofy ass. Y'all don't want to know they depend on us being stupid. Well, I do know that. But I think what you're saying kind of shows that they're getting what they're wanting. White people don't want colored people to have nothing, man, says Big Dog. Well, we're in to bring up Obama, suggesting that out of all of the presidents we've had, Obama, jeez. I mean, you had folks who own slaves and own big ass businesses. Obama, when he left office, what did he really own? I mean, George Bush, I think he owned part of the Texas Rangers. These people had real money compared to Obama. I don't, out of all the people you could bring up, Biden spent his whole adult life as a Washington politician, and somehow Obama passed him up. And some of this stuff is crazy. I don't get it. But anyway, let me continue on.